The Avengers Endgame writers want to make a Superman film. Warner Brothers wants Shazam 2 ASAP. The Swamp Thing showrunner has teased a series finale post-credit surprise that's giving fans hope as SDCC gears us up for pre- and post-crisis surprises. All that and so much more. Oh my lord. But first, I'm David C. Robertson, this, my very handsome co-host, Jason Goss.
Hello.
He just winked at me, y'all.
You have to wink when somebody says your handsome.
And
Law.
And we are DC on Screen. In this show, we talk about the DC Comics multiverse on film and television, give honest opinions, and believe that every version of a property is valid, even if we damn don't want it to be. If it's been released, it is fair game, so beware of spoilers, and welcome to the show. You okay?
I was waiting on.
Waiting on
I didn't
me.
know what the next stage was.
Oh, the next stage is we thank our new patron, Eli Hernandez.
Hello,
Thank you,
Hello
Eli.
again.
Good man there.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a huge show.
Yeah, dig in.
Yeah.
This is going to be dirty. Yeah.
This is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know about crazy. It's probably not going to be crazy.
Probably.
All right, so you know Marcus and McFeely, the Avengers Endgame writers.
Mm-hmm.
They did the Captain America movies.
Mm-hmm.
They really want to do a Superman movie.
I don't think I have an objection to that.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people with an objection to that. Now, they said, McFeely says, I think Captain America shows there are certainly ways to do a really good Superman movie in this day. You don't have to dirty him up. You don't have to get rid of his earnestness. The Christopher Reeve Superman is one of my favorite movies. It's as if he anticipated the controversy.
Yeah, this is where I start to understand some of the objection. Because we've said it before a few times. Like we've seen those movies.
Mm-hmm.
So, quick recap of all our previous discussions. We enjoyed the deconstructed universe and would like to have seen more and don't know what we're really getting in the future. But that being said, they're good at their jobs.
Yes.
So why not?
But, you know, when I've seen Captain America in their movies and Joss Whedon's movies, I've always kind of thought, like, yeah, there he is. He's not exactly Chris Reeve, but of course, you know, I also look at Captain America and think, you know, there's a little bit of Malcolm Reynolds in you.
Yeah.
Especially when Whedon's writing him.
Yeah. I can see it. Yeah, I mean...
It's like if Mal Reynolds never lost his faith. Mal Reynolds from Firefly, that is, if you guys
if they had
don't know.
one...
Yeah. Yeah, there's only one God, ma'am, and I'm pretty sure you don't dress like that. I mean,
if that guy had survived. Instead of the... what's the other line instead of... You can... you're welcome on my ship, but leave him.
Oh, yeah. You're welcome on my ship, Shepherd, but God ain't, or something like that.
Something to that effect.
Yeah.
What do they say? So that's one we certainly borrow from all the time. I can feel that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with it. It's just I think it would depart probably from the Cavill storyline, but
yeah. Well,
by extended universe now, they just mean we're going to do whatever movie we feel like doing.
I kind of feel like from, you know, looking at what we got of Justice League, we don't really need to go back to Man of Steel era. I mean, I don't feel like, unless let's be honest here. Let's get down to brass tacks. Unless Warner Brothers releases the Snyder Cut and then also hires Zack Snyder to come back and helm the damn thing all over again.
That part of the era is over.
That part of the era is over, and also the people who are most outspoken about DC trying to quote-unquote Marvelize their films, they're not going to be sated.
No. But as far as the kind of Superman they're talking about, the last time we saw him in universe, the three notable things I remember was him grinning ear to ear while he led the Justice League to a victory. And then two, again grinning ear to ear while he raced the Flash. And then really the last time we saw, we'll call it him showing up at a school cafeteria to make a kid feel better.
Yeah. He was grinning so big you couldn't even see his head.
Yeah. They couldn't even use the footage.
You know, so I think I'm just saying, you know...
The door's open to this, though.
You know, the people who are going to really complain about it, if they were... Like, look, no one's saying that these guys are taking over Superman.
No, they were just throwing it
They're
out
just
there.
saying they want to.
Yeah.
And I'm saying I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah, I'd be fine with it.
Because the people who are going to have a problem with it aren't going to be happy.
I mean, yeah. I don't think they're going to lose anybody with that direction right now.
So, just saying. But if you're open to it and you have that mindset, well, I mean, I love you anyway. It's okay. All right, so there's a whole lot of stuff going on with the Joker film, and they are really swinging for the fences, for the awards fences, because they're opening it at the Venice International Film Festival. They've already got it going to the Toronto International Film Festival, and we do find out that it's 122 minutes, apparently.
I like 120 minutes.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
We've got people...
I mean, I would have been livid if they were like, it's 3 hours and 15. Like, no, why? No!
Apparently, Todd Phillips was like, I don't care if I run the risk of not winning. Why shouldn't I go in competition when I know what we've got on our hands? They are actually going for Oscars here.
Yeah, sure. Wear it out, man. Go.
They're saying it's like one of like the career-defining things for Phoenix, which, if you've seen a modicum of his films, that's probably pretty impressive.
That is an intense statement. Yeah.
Like, the man's a good actor.
Yeah, he really is.
Like, I don't know what the hell happened in The Master. I'm not that smart of a person.
I don't know how to do the calculus on what went wrong, but...
Well, no, I mean, I'm saying, like, I don't know what happened in the movie. It was a captivating film.
You literally have no idea.
Yeah, like, okay. I don't know what happened at the end of that movie. I've
never seen it. I've only seen, like, one scene, and I thought, God, him and Hoffman are fucking awesome.
Yeah, and Paul Thomas Anderson's a fantastic director. But the thing about that movie is, and maybe I need to go back and rewatch it, but the thing about that movie is I don't know what the hell happened at the end of that movie. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But it was well worth the watch, even if the ending is as ambiguous as I remember it being, just because, damn it, those two guys in a room together.
It was the clips I've seen.
And then Amy Adams is there too, and she's fantastic.
I don't even think I get to see her part. I just saw Hoffman yelling at everybody, and even Phoenix's reaction shots were like, God, he's so subtle.
Mm-hmm. It's a pretty good movie. But yeah. So we're just gonna move on down the road here. We've got Greig Fraser. He's a cinematographer. He's done Rogue One. He's done a bunch of stuff. Zero Dark 30. He's working on the upcoming reboot of Dune, and it looks like he is going to be the cinematographer for the Batman. I don't know if you're familiar with any of that, Jason, but
any of the films?
Yeah. I wanted to say that I'm pretty pleased with that choice. And I'm going to look up, because I think there was more that I was impressed by.
I haven't seen those. What do we got here?
Let's see. We've got...
I've seen shots of Foxcatcher.
Foxcatcher was really good on the cinematography.
Seen shots of Vice, too, also.
Mm-hmm.
The Captain. These are all things I've just seen clips of, but it all looked good.
Yeah.
Oh, some Bob Dylan little shorts.
Yeah, I wonder what that is. I haven't seen that.
I don't know. Bet you're looking at that.
You know what? Must Be Santa. That's a music video. That was pretty good.
Oh, cool.
That's probably what the quote-unquote video short is. Let Me In.
Like How to Destroy Angels
with Matt Reeves. That's a pretty movie.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
How to Destroy Angels, The Space in Between. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that is a Trent Reznor project that I have only listened to a couple times, but enjoyed.
Okay. So yeah, that's the guy that...
Alright, so plenty to love here.
Yeah, that's the guy with the... Oh, Vice. Vice looked good. Have you seen Vice?
I've seen the trailer for Vice.
You've seen the trailer. Good, yeah. I've seen scenes. I haven't seen the whole movie, but it looks good.
Yeah.
All right, so that's a solid cinematographer for the Batman, if you're asking me. All right, and according to GWW out on Geeks Worldwide, I think that's what that's called.
Sure.
January 13th is when Batman starts production.
That still seems a mite off, or a ways off, but they got a lot going on right now.
Well, we always knew it was going to be either early 2020 or late 2019, so...
I thought it'd be late 2019, but...
I mean...
January 7th isn't...
I think they're still tweaking the script.
Yeah, January 7th isn't... that's not worrisome, let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it'd be maybe October, November, but...
Yeah.
Whatever.
Now, we had a guy run into Henry Cavill... And he tweeted this out. He said he apparently talked to Cavill for quite a while. He said he still wants to play Superman, wants a sequel to Man of Steel, wants to explore how it affects someone with absolute power. So many stories to tell what makes him tick. That sounds like Cavill still wants to do the Zack Snyder stuff.
He does a little bit. he does.
Which is fine. I would like to see it. Let's do it.
I would. I like that he's just chatting with this guy, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He had a picture of him and everything. It was nice.
They just had some time to kill. Yeah, what a balloon.
And this is pretty fun, too. Over on the New Gods news, we've got Ava DuVernay tweeted out a picture of her and Tom King and said, "There came a time when the old gods died. For any of you who don't already know, Tom King is a genius. Great time with you this week, pal." And he posted a picture of himself with her, and he's wearing a Dark Side Is shirt, and he posted Ava is.
Nice.
And then he also teased, quote, "big things coming," and with a picture of Orion saying, "This game, as you call it, is bigger than you think, as large as the universe, and a battle looms which binds us all." I'm just really excited about Tom King and Ava DuVernay doing this.
I didn't know how to feel exactly based on his Batman run. I didn't know exactly, because Batman's so grounded. Mm-hmm. And even his version is pretty ungrounded, but it's still, Gotham's, for the most part, a very contained universe, especially on a Batman run. Like, not as part of a JLA tale or something. Yeah. But, man, Mr. Miracle sold me hard.
Mr. Miracle sold me really hard, and it made me really excited because they just announced that they're doing, he and Mitch are coming together again and doing Strange Adventures, and it's going to be Adam Strange.
Yeah.
And that just looks fantastic.
I did love it's something at the end of Mr. Miracle where he as much as says, "This is really it. There's no follow-up coming." This was the story. You got 12 oversized issues of a crazy, crazy good story. Just deal with it. I didn't know what the next thing would be, but I wasn't surprised at all that these two have been reunited, and it feels so good.
Oh, I was hoping you wouldn't go there, but before I even had time to think the entire thought of he's not going to do that. Oh, you did that.
You flinched a little, like your left arm flinched a little bit. I think you were going to reach out and choke me. Stop it from happening. And that made me want to do it more.
Yep. By the way, yeah, Jason's in the Dave Cave with me. So
it's a true live one.
Yeah, it's a weird time.
If you were thinking this sounds different, that's also why.
That is why. All right, so Ava has confirmed. Black Adam 59 asked, "Are we going to see the Furies and New Gods?" She said, "How could any self-respecting Barda fan not include the Furies? I'm looking forward to them so much." And Am Javon said, "What about Darkseid?" She said, "Darkseid is." I just love all of this so much.
Yeah.
And then some Kurosaki Duma, I think that's how you say that, said, "Is there any chance any of the cast of When They See Us is going to be in New Gods?" That was her last film. Mm-hmm. She said, "In each of my narrative projects since my first film entitled I Will Follow, I bring over an actor from the last project I made. So yes, there's a 99.9% chance this will happen again." I need to just go back and do a deep dive on Ava and just watch all of her shit.
I forget what the last one was, but it was a big story. I think Mindy Kaling was in it.
Oh, I don't know. They did. I think the last one she did was When They See Us, but then there was the big one. What was that? God, I had it in my head just a second ago, and it just leaves me so quickly.
I've only ever saw the trailers. I didn't get to see it.
Yeah,
I feel like I need to watch it now. But
yeah, it was some big thing. God, I'm a piece of shit.
Screw it. We're already on IMDb.
That's right. It was not
Queen Sugar.
It was not received well, as I recall. Even though certain people said it was.
No, that can't. Maybe not. Maybe I was wrong.
A Wrinkle in Time?
That does feel right. That does feel right. It's about the right timing.
Yeah. I think that was her big thing. She also did Selma, which was really big.
Yeah, that went over way better.
Yeah. Way better. Yeah. When They See Us was the last thing she did, and it was a TV miniseries, and she's got New Gods coming up.
Oh, don't leave IMDb. We don't know when we'll need this again.
Oh, it's minimized. It's not gone. IMDb is.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Warner Brothers, apparently, according to Zachary Levi, says Warner Brothers wants Shazam 2 as soon as possible. He says he doesn't know anything. He says I know that I'm going to have a conversation with my bosses pretty soon about what the idea is and where we're going with a new movie, but all I really know is that New Line, or our studio, and Warner Brothers, our parent studio, and DC, and our producers and executives and everybody who's involved in all of the decision making, they're all very happy with what we did. They want to do even better the second time around, and they're crafting a story right now as we speak about what that sequel is going to be. The only other thing I know is they want to make it as soon as possible because those kids are growing up like weeds. So if we don't do that in like the next 2 days, they're going to be full-grown adults.
Yeah, I wondered about that.
Mm-hmm. Which I don't think there's anything that states that they have to be children.
No, just in the
be
timeline
jarring.
of what you're trying to do. If you don't want to, say, like 4 years later, then you need to get it done. Get it coming.
Yeah.
Get it going.
Yeah. It's, that's happened pretty quickly on Stranger Things.
Yeah, those kids grow up pretty fast, too. Because season 1 and 2 had a pretty big gap.
They had a pretty big gap, and the kids still looked like the kids, but then I saw them on a talk show the other day and went, oh, God.
They grown.
They grown.
Yeah. I mean, they had to do the same thing on Harry Potter. They had, the last parts of it, if I remember, they had to crack the whip a little bit. Like, guys, we gotta get these out. Get them in the can.
Yeah, that last Harry Potter movie, they were like freaking 35 years old.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they were buying beer after rap.
Like, there's like beer and orgies and Caligulas over there. All right, so we've talked about this before, but Zachary Levi is again reiterating that Black Adam is going to happen in Shazam 3 because they want to do Shazam 2, and then they wanted to have a Black Adam movie in between there, and then that'll culminate in 3. So, yep, I'm going to just skip all the quotes because why?
Let me guess. He's excited about it. Dwayne Johnson's still on board. Mm-hmm. And then now we know the basic story structure.
That's right.
All right. Called it.
He also says because he's like the ultimate bad guy for Captain Marvel or Shazam, dude, he's not going to stop calling him Captain Marvel.
I don't think he's doing it as a dig. I think he thinks of him as that character because most of the written material that he probably went back and got, he's called that. Well,
when I grew up, he was called Captain Marvel, so I think of him as Captain Marvel too.
Yeah. And I don't mind the...
In my head, there are 3 Captain Marvels, at least.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's also the big cheese. Like, there's a name for all these people that, you remember, like, 15 names for any one of these characters. Like, Martian Manhunter alone has 3. Just base level.
Yeah. But yeah, he says, like, Shazam and Black Adam, they're doppelgangers, the evil twin to who I am, so that's got to be, like, the final battle. If we do that in the second movie, then where are we going to go after that? It would just be a movie of us sitting around playing video games. All right. That's all I've got on movies. But look, we're going to jump to break. When we come back, we'll be talking about television news from HBO's Watchmen, DC Universe news, we've got Lucifer news, we've got CW's massive 5-part crossover event, Crisis on Infinite Earths. Stay with us or you will lactate gummy worms. That's a promise.
Wherever your company goes, your brand should follow. Image 360 makes that happen. Image 360 provides signs for your office, graphics for your fleet, complete displays for trade shows, and more. With decades of experience combined with advanced technology, our high-impact solutions help to get you noticed by quickly informing customers who you are and what you do. Learn more and get a quote at image360signs.com. Image 360, your expert source for comprehensive custom signs and graphic solutions.
All right, so we are back. And did you watch this Watchmen trailer by chance?
I believe so.
I mean, it's the only one they've released in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
All right, so...
It has been, I think, fully the 2. I think I watched it literally in the hour it came out.
Mm-hmm.
And now I don't remember really much of it, except that it was very flashy, very pretty.
Yeah, I remember David Bowie. And lots of crazy stuff going on. With vigilantes, and are the cops vigilantes if they wear masks? And what are they? How are they? I loved it, man.
Bunch of spare Rorschachs,
dude. Yeah. Oh my God, the cult of the Rorschachs, whatever they're called. Like that looks.
Hey, it seems like
fantastic.
in this future world, the Rorschach's sacrifice did not go unnoticed. So it would appear that kind of the ambiguous ending of maybe the Notebook got published and maybe it didn't.
Yeah.
In this universe, it looks like it got published.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I always assumed that. I felt like that was a clear indicator at the end of that book that, yeah, it's going to get published.
Yeah. I mean, it's been 2 years since I read the actual book.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, 3. I read that on my honeymoon. That was the last time I read that thing. But I remember the movie fondly. All I remember is it being ambiguous there. I don't remember about the book. I'll have to look that up. I'm gonna read it again here in a minute anyway.
I mean, it was it was there, and like a guy picks it up. I don't think there was any more to it than that, really. But yeah,
I think the movie gave it the context of like, I think the book did this too, where like they were looking for like, come on, man, look in the crack pile, like in the what do they called it? Look in the pile of wackos or whatever it was they called it. Find me something to print. But anyway, it looks like they've done it. I like the idea that there's a bunch of people who've essentially agreed with Rorschach.
Oh yeah.
That no. We won't compromise. There's right and wrong. And then, oh God, that's going to be so much fun.
That's going to be great.
I'm going to have to like bone up on my ethical philosophy before I sit down and watch the show. Sit down and rewatch Sartre.
Like I've heard rumors within the group that you and Matt might be doing a Watchmen show together.
We're working on seeing if that could work.
Okay.
We're at the stage of that at the moment. We're fully working on seeing if we can make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
But we haven't completely worked it out.
Okay.
So I'm leaving myself a ripcord in case we can't get it together.
That's fair.
But as
far as I'm concerned, this show has a ripcord.
But we do at least know what time frame we're working in after some of the news came out. It's what is it like? All they said was October 2019.
Yeah. Was
the premiere. So I don't know. It could be first or Halloween. I don't know. But
that's exciting.
Yeah, it is though.
Yeah, I would listen to you guys review a Watchmen series.
Oh, I'd love it.
I mean, you still got to come over here and review the season with me.
Yeah.
But
I have a feeling there will be plenty to talk about though. I have a feeling this is going to be a show that I'm going to be deeply attached to, for a lot of reasons. Not the least of which is, and I keep saying, man, fucking Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross working on the sound.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It almost doesn't matter what property you tell me that's happening, and I'm probably going to take a peek at it at least.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the thing is, like, even if you're not a Watchmen fan, which I am, I own more than 2 copies of the thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Even if you're not, though, I think it looks like a fantastic series. It looks very interesting at the very least. I want to know what's going on with. I mean, obviously, people were taking it to the cops. The cops decided, we're just going to be vigilantes or put on masks so you can't know who we are.
I can't tell what part of that story we're doing yet.
Yeah.
Like, where the cops... It's really all speculation. But if it's the cops fighting back against the vigilante population by using the capes, the masks themselves, or if they're fighting back against crime in a way where they realize, you know what, if they're doing it, we can do it too.
Yeah, it looks like... The way I took it was that vigilantes were outlawed.
They've been outlawed since.
Yeah, but then the cops were somehow got attacked or something because their identity was known, so the cops started wearing the masks. And now it's like, yeah, but if you can be a cop, but if you wear a mask, aren't you a vigilante? Because you don't have any accountability. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that's what they're pushing towards, but
which is still a great argument to have. Is like, okay, well, why is that? Why are you required to?
I liked that at the beginning where the guy was like, "Who are you?" He's like, "If I knew, I wouldn't be wearing a mask."
Yeah,
I liked that.
That was good. That was a good line. There's an argument to be had about like the safety of the officers, and they have a right to some kind of safety. And then there's a counter argument about like, yeah, but you also have the responsibility of accountability. Mm-hmm. And the thing I love so much about this is like you can sit here, you can do an entire discussion about the ethics of law, ethics of fucking anything you want to regarding this property, and it no matter where, because the universe it set itself up in, no matter what they do, it always opens up another argument to have about it. Like you can genuinely sit around and talk about what's happened in Watchmen, the series, the show, the movie, whatever you want to do, probably hours. Like I have no doubt I'll be able to rattle on about it for some time if we end up going to be able to do this.
I'm just excited. I'm really just down for this completely. Mm-hmm. I am not nearly as smart enough to understand what this show is going to be.
No, I have no idea yet. They're not ready to tell us quite yet.
Yeah, but I'm saying I'm looking at the trailer and going, I'm not going to understand what this show is.
I think I will, but it's an HBO show and they like to be ambiguous as they possibly can. Only thing I'm worried about is I've been burned a little bit on HBO shows in the past. With endings.
And I've been burned a little bit with Damon Lindelof endings.
That's fair too. So, well, I don't know what it is, but between that and even when it started, when Lindelof put out this letter to the fans, it was like
that letter was magnificent.
Meticulously, I mean, that was his heart. I mean, that was not a PR statement of any kind. That was literally a letter saying, "You don't understand how much I love this property."
And I'll tell you this won me over too, even more. I was already won over. They've got my money.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, but they were asking. Someone was brought up at the Television Critics Association about Alan Moore not being happy with the idea of doing this adaptation. And of course, we all know Alan Moore doesn't like anything.
No, he hasn't been happy with anything that's happened to Watchmen 15 minutes after it was published.
Right.
I mean,
And, admittedly, DC has screwed him over because if they had stopped publishing it, the rights would have gone back to him. And they have never stopped publishing it. Yeah. Because it is huge. Yeah. It is like one of their best money makers.
Yeah. They keep putting out a special edition of this and that, and they keep They can keep it in perpetuity if they keep trying to do that. But it keeps selling.
Like, why would they just... Yeah. So,
yeah, it would have been nice of them if they'd cut him a bigger piece of the pie after realizing. But, yeah.
And, so he...
I don't know the details.
HBO programming president Casey Bloys said that he admitted, I think that remains the case. He is not thrilled. Now, Dave Gibbons, the co-creator of Watchmen... we've talked about this before. He says, I do know a little bit about it. I've had conversations with Damon. I've read the screenplay for the pilot. I don't think it's my place to say too much about it, other than I found Damon's approach to be really refreshing and exciting and unexpected. I don't think it's going to be what people think it's going to be. And he's down with it, even though he's been resistant to the comic book prequels and sequels. He's down with what Damon's doing.
I'm sure they both are super mad about Doomsday Clock.
Now, I was really happy with what Damon Lindelof said. He did say that Alan Moore was a genius, so he made good on that. Mm-hmm. He says Alan Moore has made it very clear that he doesn't want to have any association or affiliation with Watchmen. He says he theorized though that if someone told Alan Moore that he wasn't allowed to do something, Alan Moore would say, "Fuck you, I'm going to do it anyway." Mm-hmm. So I'm channeling the spirit of Alan Moore to tell Alan Moore, "Fuck you, I'm doing it anyway." He won me over, man. That's
pretty good.
Like that not only gives him like carte blanche in my mind for this show, but for at least 3 others. Like, you know what? Do whatever, man.
You just bought a whole spool of rope. You do whatever you want to with it.
Because, from a comic book fan's perspective, from a guy who wanted those Watchmen, whatever it was, 20th, 25th anniversary, whatever the hell it was, action figures that looked so pretty in Wizard magazine and Toy Fair magazine. Mm-hmm. And then to have that yanked away from me so viciously because Alan Moore wouldn't agree to it. Mm-hmm. I'm just sick of his shit, man. I'm just sick of his shit.
I also like the sentiment though, but it's like I sent you a link to an article. I don't know the details behind this. It was one of the Discovery characters, one of the actors on Discovery, and the essence of what I read was, if you don't like what we're doing, go fuck yourself.
Oh yeah, Jason Isaacs.
Yeah. And I told you, it was like, I wish I saw more headlines like this. Mm-hmm. That were just like, you don't have to fucking watch it. There's other channels, other times. Streaming universes aplenty. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Jason, I wish I saw more from that.
Jason Isaacs is the man, dude. Yeah. I love that guy. He's a dick and a half to the fans. Really refreshing, though. The quote unquote fans. It's wonderful. All right, so the people who have read Watchmen may remember that it was said that Robert Redford was running for president, or about to start running for president, and it looks like in this sequel, as well as Doomsday Clock, he is the president on this show, and he is going to be played by Robert Redford. Mm-hmm. And I think that is neat, and that makes my heart happy in a way that Bacon never could. Because Bacon is slowly killing my heart, and Robert Redford is innocent on all counts.
Right.
There. But yeah, They've abolished term limits, Lindelof explained. That's why he's been president. He's the longest sitting president. He wanted to do this. He says the show analyzes what happens if a well-intentioned white man is president for far too long.
It's a fine question.
Because they're going to play it like he's liberal, and he would be.
Yeah,
so,
he would be. I think he is in real life.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they're going to let him play that and do the whole the terrible villain line from Dark Knight.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
All
right,
dude, Lindelof, man.
I'm feeling Lindelof will have a better take on it than that polite piece of nonsense dinner conversation.
So yeah, I feel like Damon's just hitting for the fences, man.
Oh yeah, these are some big swings.
Yeah,
I mean, it was a big swing enough to walk into a room and say, "I want to do Watchmen" after the movie.
Well, as I remember it, they repeatedly called him and asked him to do Watchmen.
No, you're right. He kept saying him, no. And then he finally got him to a point where he was like, I'll do it, but I'm going to do it the way I want to do it. And they went, sure, blank check. And he went, all right, fine, see you Monday.
Yeah. All right. Not a lot here, and I haven't gotten a chance to check it out, but the first 3 episodes of Pennyworth are free on Amazon Prime.
I'm hearing good stuff from our people.
Our people?
Anybody in our feed or anything like
that. I've heard some good things.
The trailer looked better than expected.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've been down for this show since the start. Like, spies and, 60s spies and all sorts of, yes. It's been... All right, so moving on to Titans over on DC Universe, we've got Good Girls Revolt star Genevieve Angelson, I think, has been cast.
Like the second person.
As Dr. Eve Watson, who is described as a research doctor with conflicted feelings about her recent work at Cadmus Laboratories, the genetic engineering hub known in DC Comics mythology as the birthplace of Superboy. So, yeah, that is... I'm excited about Superboy.
Mm-hmm. It was even a crypto tease on... not even a tease. That was a promise.
Yeah, crypto was in the poster, the SDCC Titans poster. Yeah, he's
nice.
On the very bottom.
Nice.
Now, I have seen a couple of behind-the-scenes things. I think one behind-the-scenes picture. And I am a little annoyed because it looks like Superboy has raven hair. You just like the kind of matted down fake, you know how her hair just looks like a wig?
No, I get that. I don't know. I've seen a hair that flat before.
Well, no, it's not that it's flat. It's just that it doesn't look like it connects to a skull.
Oh.
It just sort of looks like it's like matted and mashed down on like...
I didn't think about it.
You didn't?
No, I didn't see that. But
like Raven and now Superboy's hair, they look like the SNL players when they're playing superheroes. Like when you see Bill Murray in that old in an SNL bit playing
when they
Superman.
Had 4 minutes with a bald cap between skits.
And you're like, oh Lord, what is this?
I get it. I'm going to refer back to our classic Give 'Em a Minute. It is a behind-the-scenes photo. But you have seen Raven in full form, so you're using that to extrapolate.
Yeah. And I've seen, Ollie Queen in those flashbacks for like 7 years, so.
Yeah.
Or 5 years, whatever it was. And the whole time went, oh, buddy.
It's all. We also have conversations like this sometimes, and then like earlier we were saying you didn't understand what happened in The Master. I'm like, well, how much were you thinking about their hair? How much were you focusing on the wigs?
Yeah,
when a plot point is developing.
Well, see, ideally you just don't want the wig to be distracting.
Yeah, I know. I have found that historically you get far more distracted far quicker than I do about
you do. I do.
Wig situation.
Yeah,
and it's been amusing. I've never known when it's going to pop up. It's been rare that like it has to be like Inhumans level absurd before.
Look, I watched the original series and Shatner's piece doesn't bother me, but there are a few shows who are markedly bad at it for some reason or another. Titans is one of those for whatever reason. News Radio, there's like a half a season or a season where Dave Foley is just obviously wearing a wig, and I can't remember why that happened, but it was just markedly bad. It was like, let me wear a Davy Jones wig for half a season. How I Met Your Mother was really bad every time they cut back to show Lily or Allison Hannigan at an earlier time. It's just like, oh God, oh no, what is that? So
it's not even wardrobe.
Anyway. Doom Patrol, officially renewed for Season 2.
Yes.
Huzzah!
I mean, something that seems so inevitable.
Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, Titan Season 2 releases Friday, September 6th.
It's close enough to be excited about. Did you see, though, Doom Patrol releasing not just on
DC Universe, but also HBO Max.
Yeah.
They're gonna open it up.
Oh, yeah.
They're gonna open it up. More people gonna see it in the mainstream, like little Susie. Little Susie gonna eat her turtle soup. Gonna be able to watch Doom Patrol.
I want to say that's a bad impression. We'll get to Swamp Thing eventually. I want to say it is, but I don't think it really is. It's actually pretty close. That's a whole thing. Something very exciting about the HBO Max thing, though, is it does open it up to more people. Mm-hmm. I didn't see that Titans was going to be necessarily released that way, but I guess that also gives us a time frame for it's going to be a minute before we see Doom Patrol Season 2.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
HBO Max will have to be mounted and ready, but...
I'll mount HBO Max.
I'm planning on mounting.
I am routing.
But
I am routing? I am ready. That's what I meant to say.
Oh, I did mean to look up... it said all 15 episodes of Doom Patrol...
Season 1
will be available for streaming soon. I didn't see where that was going to be a thing. So, because I know they've previously released Titans and on Netflix.
Yeah.
At least internationally. I don't know.
Internationally, not here.
Not here?
It's still in DC Universe.
Still DC Universe, primarily. All right. So it'll be interesting to see when and how on HBO Max creeps up. We know it'll have to be before Doom Patrol Season 2.
Yeah.
Which they haven't announced even a beginning of Season 2's production. We just know this now. But it means there's so many more people are going to get their eyes on it. Which means the chances of Doom Patrol Season 3 go up a lot. Which is the most exciting thing about any of that. I felt really good about it being renewed. I feel really good about how they're renewing it and what it means that we might get more of this show for a while.
Yeah. I was, they did us dirty, man.
Even more funding. Really go crazy with it.
Yeah. They did us dirty, though, not telling us if it was renewed for so long, waiting for SDCC, the bastards. Waiting for the HBO shit to hit.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. But when they hit the HBO stuff, it was really confusing because you could pause that HBO trailer, the HBO Max trailer, and it said Doom Patrol. Mm-hmm. It didn't say season whatever. It just said Doom Patrol, a DC Universe property.
Yeah.
It was like, what am I supposed to do with that? I mean, are y'all picking it up or you're taking it from them or?
All right, so I'm gonna move on. Look, we are on an island alone for the most part.
I think so.
You, my wife, and I will admit
the couple scenes she walked in, my wife.
Yeah, we are not huge. We are not fans of Swamp Thing.
The show, not the character.
We love the character.
The character's lovely.
So
brace yourself.
And
also, sorry about 4 minutes ago.
What was 4 minutes ago?
When you did the impression of Sutherland.
Oh, no. I'll do it again. I love it.
I know.
Me and Bethany are always walking around the house. Oh, turtle soup. Oh, little Susie. Oh.
I know.
Oh, little Susie.
I know. All right. All right. So I have tried to diagnose why it's not clicking with me, and I don't. Because a few episodes I've thought, okay, I think I know what we're doing here.
Uh-huh.
And then like an episode later, I'm just beside myself.
I will tell you this. Episodes 5, 6, and 6, I think. Mm-hmm. 5, 6, and 7. Sorry. We've been catching up.
Yeah.
I enjoyed.
There was that thing in the middle where I found some traction.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
and I haven't watched any more than that.
8, I don't remember being... it didn't pull me one way or the other. 9 was like, I couldn't do it.
And that's so surprising to me. I mean, look, it's
supposed to be a big episode. Anatomy lesson is supposed to be a big deal.
Yeah. And I just ran into Scott. I didn't really run into him. I knew he was going to be there. We went to a Hoover Library Comic-Con type of situation. A sci-fi fantasy fest is what it was called. I did a panel. He did 3.
Yeah.
But look, I ran into him. We were joking around about Swamp Thing for a second, and he was like, yeah, I'm just not feeling you on that. Like, I love it. And me and my wife both are just like looking at him like, what is happening?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Like, we don't get it. And he doesn't get what we're talking about.
There's there's been moments where I thought I understood, and then something will happen, and no, I don't like that. I don't like what we're doing here. And I can't necessarily say it's a bad show. I just don't know what I'm missing.
I can tell you...
Because there are parts of it that I can tell you technically are a great show.
Yes, I agree with that. I think, effects-wise, for the most part, pretty damn great. Mm-hmm. There are a couple of bits here and there that just kind of are a little bit meh, but I can live with meh.
No, I mean...
An old school Doctor Who fan.
It's been...
Whatever.
Yeah. Effects-wise, it's been great.
The
Nothing. We loved Titans, and there's nothing even close to that tiger.
Right. Nothing. No.
Everything there looks better.
Flashdance Dance's her accent doesn't stay.
Which one?
Flashdance. Beals. Is that her name? The sheriff.
Yeah.
She can't keep an accent.
It's the True Blood problem.
I think it's the True Blood problem with the accents.
Mm-hmm. Sunderland's way over the top.
Will Patton. Okay, you know what? I kept thinking that he was over the top and he was just so bad. And I literally saw like an interview with someone from Louisiana and he was doing worse than Patton was. And I'm like, he is awful. He is just over the top Louisiana. He's like, oh yeah, we're going to go down. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? You don't even sound like a real person from Louisiana.
So he classed up to do this role.
But he is.
Now see, that is weird.
Yeah, so I've now officially
that
seen
me a little bit.
Yeah, it did me too, I think.
Yeah.
Because I in between watching season or episode 4 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And these 3 that I just caught up on, I saw this dude. He was like a doctor or something, scientist or something. I can't remember what I was watching. Mm-hmm. I just watch shit all the time. Always got something on, and I was like, that dude's accent is terrible. It's like he's doing a bad impersonation, but it was just his voice. And he was like, oh, the boo-boo-shoo-boo-doo. I'm like, nice. You're a creature. You're not even a person.
You're a cartoon of Louisiana.
But he was genuine.
Yeah.
He was a real person.
Yeah. I mean, there are parts, again, there are parts I'm liking, parts I'm not. Like, Woodrow Even, I like him.
Oh, Woodrow's fantastic. That dude's just always doing Christopher Walken to me.
Yeah. Story with him and his wife, good.
Except when he's not. Like, I started looking that guy up. I know him as Keamy on Lost, and even then I was like, he's like a jacked, because he was like real built and jacked. He's still in good shape. He's still good. You can see the muscles.
They give him a little bit bigger suits to
hide it. Yeah, but yeah,
the Clark Kent effect.
Yeah, but and he's got about 10 more years on him. But when you look at him on Lost, he's like this jacked mercenary who's still talking like walking. He's just kind of roided out. But then, I looked at him. I think it was in I started looking up his IMDb, and I was like, guy, he's played so many different kinds of characters. And I was looking at him on his images, and it's like he's played it looks like he's playing different races and stuff. And then I remembered he played I think he played an Hispanic guy on Butterfly Effect. He was in prison, and I'm like, this dude is versatile as shit.
I knew he was a good character actor because I remembered his face from several things, and I like what he's done in the show here. But he does strike me as one of those people where they shoot him a certain way, where they're trying to slightly downplay that he looks like he could literally eat alive anybody on the crew.
Yep.
Like he would, if him and Swamp Thing were standing next to each other, it would look like, you remember the old set photos of Bane with Christian Bale? Mm-hmm. It was just like, no, Tom Hardy's...
Well, Christian Bale's 3 feet taller than Bane.
even Conan stopped to make fun of that.
You're thinking of the same thing I'm thinking of, or you showed the quote unquote footage, and it was like a guy in a bad Halloween costume, falling all over the place on the steps.
Yeah,
that shit was funny.
It was great.
That shit was great.
Good old Team Coca. All right, well,
anyway,
we've got a whole finale. Here's the thing: there are parts I like, and I still want to be sold on this. So anybody who wants to sell me on why it's good and what I'm missing, I'm open to it.
Me too.
Especially going into the finale in a few days. I would like to enjoy that finale, and I'd like to be sad that it's not going to come back, because it's probably not as well as everybody else. But you've got to walk me through some problems. And Anatomy Lesson had so many problems with it to me watching it, like plot wise and story wise, that I started to suggest, instead of a review of the season, let's just do a commentary of that episode.
Well, look, I haven't seen that episode yet, but you are literally the only person I've heard who has given a bad review of it.
On TV Time, I had a 9.1. I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm seeing on Twitter people and on Squadcast as well. They're just like, oh man, they just went for it. They just went for it in that penultimate episode.
Parts of it, I get that they were going for something, but and I'll save it for later. But I didn't. I didn't get to go with them.
And so far, I've mostly been on the same track as you. So, but if you're sad that it's ending, there is hope, I guess. Mark Verheiden says, dropping this Friday, the final episode of Swamp Thing 2019. I think it's interesting he said 2019. Then he says, expect some resolution, some strangeness, maybe even some tears, and whatever you do, stick around after the credits for, well, you'll just have to see. You think there's a possibility they're not doing more Swamp Thing, but they're going to do like Swamp Thing and Constantine, or God help us, Justice League Dark, or some variation of it?
They've got the pieces in place for a lot of that. I don't see why it wouldn't be doable.
Yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't do it.
There were some on-set problems with that show, but some of the brass might have decided, because it has really gotten great fan responses. It has. Some of the brass might have decided, look, I think we can do this another way, and decided to pull out a few of the pieces that weren't working, on set at least. Because apparently, according to everybody but us and some stragglers, it was working really well. So, yeah, entirely possible. I wouldn't put it past them not to do this at all.
Yeah, and I'm not a vindictive sort if if they've got it in them.
No, there are parts of this show that I'm rooting for. It's just episode to episode. I don't know. It's just not. It's not getting into me like it's also coming after Titans, which I thought at the time was like, this is the best season of anything we've ever covered.
And then Doom Patrol came out.
And was the best season of anything we've ever covered. Like I would think about episodes of Doom Patrol throughout the week, anticipating the next episode. And then I got to this one, and I'll get to the end of the episode and think like, all right, well.
And admittedly, horror is not really our genre.
No, really not.
Unless Bruce Campbell is at the end of a boomstick in it. But
in that case, sure.
Or Joss Whedon is at the end of a pin.
Yeah. So not something that we were predisposed to. But I think they've gotten away from some of the horror aspects of it.
Yeah.
Forward. Or like I think they started.
I'll tell you this. I think a big problem that I had with it is they weren't doing horror so much as gross out.
Well, there was actually body horror.
Okay.
Like, it was. I still think that's horror. I think it's horror. But I think that particular part of it has body horror.
It's like, a guy with long hair has got roaches coming out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to keep seeing roaches coming out of people's mouths. Stop.
A lot of snap cuts, stuff like that. That it's just not my favorite genre. I mean, it could be as simple as that.
Yeah.
But I think they've moved into a bit of a story. And, we'll get into it later again, but one of my problems is I didn't feel like I was getting a story probably like about episode 5 where you were talking about the other day.
To be clear, though, to be fair and clear to everyone listening, I love all the Evil Dead movies, every one of them, even the ones sans Bruce Campbell. Shaun of the Dead is your favorite movie
Of all time.
But
I consider it one of my favorite comedies.
It deserves more than that. It's way deeper than a comedy. It's got some really dramatic, heavy beats.
And some decent horror in it, I guess, if you want to call it that. But I consider it my favorite comedy because it has all the other stuff that it can still play with and does well, and then comes back to being a fucking hilarious movie. Yeah.
So, and I like other horror movies, like legitimate horror movies. I don't know.
More straightforward ones, I guess.
Yeah. I think pacing's a big problem for me.
Here's a good example. We haven't seen it.
No, we haven't.
It did extraordinarily well with fans and critics. It's never even occurred to me to sit down and watch that movie.
It has absolutely occurred to me to sit down and watch it, but I became aware that they were going to be releasing sometime down the road, quote unquote, on Blu-ray, a combination,
you wanted the completest version,
part 1 and part 2 with interstitial connective tissue to bridge the two movies. So there was no way I was going to make it out to a theater to see it with that looming.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's...
But I will absolutely see it. It is my favorite Stephen King novel and possibly one of my favorite novels of all time.
See, I'm not a Stephen King guy, which is maybe leans into me not being a horror guy. But I'm also not... It's just not a movie I ever thought, I'm going to go see that. Definitely going to check that out at some point. Or what's his name? Jordan Peele?
Yeah.
He's done extraordinary stuff recently in the horror genre. I have no interest in seeing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad he's doing great. I really want to get around to Twilight Zone at some point. Just haven't had time. But I'm probably never really going to see... Was it us? Them? It was a pronoun, wasn't it?
I don't remember what it was called. There was Get Out.
There was Get Out.
And then there was something else that I wasn't aware of until very recently.
I feel like we've done like a 12-minute apology for why our review of Swamp Thing may not be
I feel
glowing.
very bad. I really do. I don't know what it is.
Something's not clicking.
Something is not clicking. I think it might be pacing. I love Crystal Reed to an unhealthy degree. My wife can tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
I will say I have never liked the woman playing Sunderland's wife.
I don't think I know her from anything else.
I think the only thing I know her from is a Star Trek Voyager episode, but I feel like I've seen her in like nighttime soaps and stuff, but I've never cared for her. And it's not because of anything she's done.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, when she got on social media and started complaining about how they were cutting the episodes, and then
was she the one that?
Yeah,
where they deleted her?
Yeah,
or
and they hurry up
delete her
and
tweets and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was the first time I was just like, oh,
there's some stuff going on here.
Yeah. Well, that was the first time I actually went and said, oh, look, it's a little bit justified that I don't like her, because before that it was all chemical. It was your checklist problem.
I understand the checklist dilemma, but it may not even be that she was wrong, because everything else seemed to corroborate her reports that there was some stuff going on. Mm-hmm. The brass and the people on the field fighting were not on the same page.
Yeah,
but
so no, Importantly, I hope that everyone who enjoys it is going to get more.
Yeah,
and I hope it's better than it is for me. Like, I hope again, Dr. Steve, I know you're out there, and I know you listen to our show and that you've enjoyed it. Fill us in a little more on what you're digging.
Yeah. The weird thing is, I think I would like a season 2 more than I like season 1 right now, because of some of the stuff they're building toward.
Oh,
that might be possible. I think I would enjoy that more than what I'm getting right now.
Yeah, I think a lot of it for me this season has just been that slow. It's really slowly paced, and we'll see. I'm interested to see more for some reason. Brent over at Fans was just like, "Why do you keep watching it?" I just looked at it and said, "I'm not going to want to watch this," and I haven't watched it, and I'm like, there's something there. I've got to watch Swamp Thing. I'm just like, I hate it so far. Gotta
crack this code. I don't know.
Like, and in my life, like, if I don't like something that much, it feels like I owe it to myself to figure out why.
Yeah, there's that.
All right, so not big news, but Adam Strange apparently is going to be getting his jetpack sometime this year in Krypton.
That feels kind of big.
It's not huge news. I mean, most people would be like, so what? I'm like, but it's his jetpack.
He has 2 major things.
This isn't a comprehensive news show, okay?
No, this
is just, I like Adam Strange, so I want him to have
He's a fun character. I like him on this show so far. He's got the one thing, he can teleport. He's got his...
if he has a Zeta beam or whatever.
Zeta beams, right?
Yeah. Isn't that what it's called? Zeta beam?
I want to say Zeta beam.
Yeah.
I'm blanking now. But he's got his rays. Mm-hmm. He's got his whatever. Killing me. I'm gonna 30 minutes later and be like, no, it's called. I think it's a Zeta beam though. And he's got his jetpack. It's the other part of the equation that makes this character a lot of fun to watch on screen.
That great white fin on his head.
Yeah, I wonder if he's gonna get the helmet. Or anything close.
Yeah. They haven't always kept that.
I mean,
fin.
shit. They got a lot of Lobo on screen. Might be a more subtle version of that little fin, but you might get that fin.
I mean, it's silly, but I don't know. I cheered when freaking Yondu got his and Guardians 2.
Right?
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Over on Lucifer, they have expanded season 5 from 10 episodes to 16 episodes. How do you feel about that?
Great.
You feel great. I feel worried. I'm like, no, don't do that. They'll add filler.
I don't think they will. This last season was so different in terms of them understanding that there's an economy to how much time they have. I think they learned a very hard lesson going from 22 episode network television, which is, don't get me wrong, really hard to produce. It's a tough job, and I think it's part of the reason you have fillers, that there's just moments where you can't do everything.
Right.
So you have an episode where, just let Tom Ellis charm him for an hour, and we're working on something a couple episodes from now that'll make this whole thing we just did at the end of this episode for 5 seconds completely worth it, I promise. I don't mind them expanding it, because they did finally do enough in season 4 that expanded what they were willing to do so much that I could fill 16 episodes with that happily. Like, I could...
If that's what they're doing.
If that's what they're doing, I'm excited. If there's filler episodes, of course. Yeah, it's going to be boring.
Yeah.
For a few episodes. But they've also opened up the playbook so much right now that they will have to kind of fuck it up for it not to be a little good.
And I won't put that past these writers.
I wouldn't have, but I think a lesson was learned.
Fingers crossed.
I think it's been better on Netflix. I hope the numbers are looking good. I hope they're getting paid. Like, I hope they're rewarded instead of... thing is, when you get to streaming, I don't know what the contracts look like. Like, it's almost public record because of stuff like Variety and Hollywood Reporter, what your paycheck looks like when you're on network TV. When you move to streaming, you go into a black box.
Yeah.
And, when somebody's doing something well, you hope they're getting compensated well. Like, I deeply hope they got compensated well for what they just did, because it was good.
Yeah. It was really good.
That they didn't look like it as like it was a punishment they pulled off and got paid a pittance for, and maybe they'll pay us more if we did what we were getting paid for more on network TV, which was fillers and Tom Ellis being charming.
Gosh, I hope he makes it over into Sandman somehow.
Oh yeah, huge.
He's so good. You just don't want to lose him.
He is good. He's great. I haven't seen him in anything else, literally, or that I recall. But here, he really understands how to be, the silver-tongued devil. Mm-hmm. He does a great job with it.
And if it comes to it, and I hope it does, one day I wouldn't mind seeing him as the Doctor or the Master. Mm-hmm. I could deal with either of those, quite happily.
Actually, you would make a really good version of either of those. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Most actors you think of that would be great for the Doctor would also be great for the Master.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know that rule.
It tends to happen.
I know that rule. Same way we've always wanted to see a David Tennant Joker.
And a David Tennant Batman.
Yeah, sure.
I have never wanted to see that. That actually broke it. That broke the rule. I do feel that way about guy that plays Magneto, Fassbender.
Yeah,
I would like to see Batman or Joker. Yeah.
I understand.
All right, Crisis on Infinite Earths. They had SDCC and a bunch of stuff was thrown out there, and then we've had a week or two since then. I don't know. I've lost track of time, but I'm just gonna run down all of this stuff, man. And let's see, they're saying, Guggenheim says, basically we're going to begin the Crisis the way the Crisis on Infinite Earths, the comic, begins, which is the destruction of various parallel universes. And the goal is for us to adapt key moments from the comic, those seminal moments. I really hope to see that.
Yeah.
And if you look at the very beginning, that's what's going on in the comic, is the dissolution of those parallel realities, while people, all the denizens or citizens or whatever, inhabitants of those realities are freaking out and trying to figure out a way to save it as this great white light wall. Just come. But you know who's looking at that? Pariah. Yeah. Did you see who's playing Pariah?
I have not seen. What do we got?
It's her buddy, Kavanaugh.
Our buddy Kavanaugh? Mm-hmm. Is playing Pariah. Mm-hmm. God damn
it. Tom Cavanaugh is playing Pariah.
Of course.
I'm so excited about that.
He's so good. And there's all these scenes in the book where it's Pariah just begging, like, no, not again. No, don't. Yeah. It's going to be so good from Kavanaugh.
Yeah.
Just him on his knees weeping. Please don't show me this again.
It's rough.
Trying to save one fucking family. Like, all that. Oh, every emotion. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's going to be good.
Yep. And so who all is going to be in Crisis? Elizabeth Tulloch is back as Lois Lane. And we're also going to get an introduction to Lois and Clark's kid. My gosh. Mm-hmm. If CW did Super Sons in any capacity, I would be thrilled beyond measure.
I mean, they've already been working on like a young new team on the Arrow side of things.
Yeah, and just set it in the future and have Super Sons, or
why not?
I mean, it shouldn't be that far in the future, but
yeah, they're about to throw all the universes together. They can tweak some stuff.
They can tweak some stuff. That's right. All right, so we've got Tyler Hoechlin coming back as Superman. That's the Superman from Supergirl, right? Mm-hmm. LaMonica Garrett is coming back to play the Monitor and the Anti-Monitor. They put out some...
I like that.
They actually did release the artwork, the character design artwork for Anti-Monitor. Mm-hmm. He just looks like Apocalypse. Oh. From X-Men Apocalypse.
Yeah, that'll work.
And, this is the concept art. So, when it gets over to the CW and it doesn't look nearly as good, it's going to absolutely look like Apocalypse.
He'll be like, nope, they borrowed that suit.
Yep, they. But yeah, it'll be fine. So yeah, like I said, Tom Cavanaugh is playing Pariah, and he's also gonna be. Let's see. It says not only will Tom be playing the two characters we heard here, he'll be playing Pariah. So he's gonna be playing some other version of Tom what's his name, Harry. Mm-hmm. They said in the original miniseries, it's Pariah who's very much integral in releasing the multiverse. For Tom to play such a pivotal character is going to tear your guts out and make you cry.
I don't doubt it.
Now, the other big Kavanaugh role is going to be revealed in the first graphic novel in Flash. That's what they're referring to. They're referring to the two halves of the new Flash season as graphic novels.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Because one is going to be pre-crisis and one's going to be post-crisis.
Yeah.
And the pre-crisis one is going to have dude from Heroes, I'll talk about that in a minute, as the bad guy. And who the hell knows what they're doing, but it's going to apparently be very, hey, Fallout from Crisis. I'm so excited, man. Yeah, I'm so stupid. I'm so excited.
Yeah, this turned out to be something.
Brandon Routh is going to be coming back as Ray Palmer, obviously, but also Superman.
Yes.
And they told him, they said that they wouldn't, we don't know if it's going to be properly the Superman Returns version. They were, Guggenheim was talking about how, like, his old Returns costume, they're like, well, Warner Brothers, they take those costumes and they put them in the archives. You can't get them back out. They don't want you to mess with them. So I don't know what we're going to do. And then Routh goes, I have an idea. And he pulls open his shirt and it's the Kingdom Come Superman symbol.
All right. One, that's amazing.
Right?
And I like that.
Did you see Alex Ross do the on Instagram? It was reported. I know you don't have Instagram, but he actually drew Brandon Routh as Kingdom Come Superman.
That's fantastic.
It looked great.
Like, I want them to do that. Even kind of, dude, the costume doesn't. Every year, Arrow's costume changes a little bit. Every Flash, asks, "Hey, can a little bit less of my face be glued down for 12 hours a day?" Mm-hmm. Like, they change all the time, so it doesn't have to be that costume. But on the other hand, Googs lies.
Yeah, Guggenheim lies.
Like,
he has to.
All right, when they needed the Constantine trench coat for that little scene in Arrow, they called it in, and they found it in, like, some fucking storage closet. Being unused.
Well, to be fair,
I mean, I know he wouldn't make the Warner Brothers archives exactly.
Right.
After
to be fair,
13-episode run, but
that is a little different than Superman Returns costume.
The Superman Returns that made the one movie that was a disappointment to the franchise they were trying to make.
It made good money, but it didn't do
wasn't
great creatively. Yeah, they for some reason Warner Brothers believes that every Superman movie has to make $1 billion, and none of them ever have.
No, maybe never gonna happen.
I mean, it's never gotten close. It's Superman.
I mean, I know.
I love Superman. We are comic book fans. Superman is of a certain import to us.
Yeah.
He was the first. He is what all other superheroes ideally look up to. But to the mainstream audience, he's a boring dude in a blue suit.
Who can do anything, so why is anything a problem? Yeah, I get it. But I get... I mean, yeah, just every time I hear Googs mention, like, what lies are coming my way. He doesn't always lie to us maliciously, I don't think, but over the years I have learned not to trust him outright, for sure.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's a showrunner. It's a hard job. I get it.
Oh, sure.
Sometimes he has to lie to us, but...
So I am really excited about Brandon Routh coming back as Superman. I'm excited that we're going to get at least 2 different Supermen.
I mean, yeah, there's no reason we can't incorporate the Return of Superman universe and have him change costume and be down the years. What it's been 22 years since that movie was released.
Well, it hasn't been that long.
That long?
It came out in 2006.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Because everyone, all the fan people online were putting together like photoshops of Bale and Routh together.
Really?
Yeah.
That could be my memory fail.
As their
I thought
finest.
I remembered it being in high school, which...
No, we were in college. We were at the tail end of our college years.
Memory fails, but okay.
Yeah, I went to see that shit like 4 times in the theater. It was the best Superman thing I've ever seen, or I had ever seen.
At the moment, it was great. Yeah.
And that plane sequence is still fantastic.
I gotta go back and watch that. See, this is giving me a little bit of homework, though. I gotta go back and watch the Return of Superman.
Yeah.
It's been too long.
Yeah.
I was in college, so God knows what I was doing at the time.
Apparently it does, like, this is going to open, the Crisis is going to open with, from what I understand, with Brandon Routh as Clark Kent in the Daily Planet.
That's awesome.
Isn't that exciting?
And he doesn't have to change characters at all from playing Ray.
Yeah. And that makes me wonder, because they also said it's going to open with the multiverse dissolving. Mm-hmm. It just makes me wonder if it's going to be like Brandon Routh as Clark Kent in the Daily Planet, and then like everyone's freaking out because the White Wall is coming. Mm-hmm. Oh, I want it. I want it so bad.
That would be particularly heart-wrenching because the thing the White Wall makes very clear is there is no saving it. There is no mercy. Unless
you're Flashpoint Batman, in which case somehow you're saved. But
look, everything got crunched down. Some things made it out. Mm-hmm. And then it took them like all of a year to start doing like, well, back over here on Earth. What was it?
Yeah.
You just fixed that. Just fixed it. It was the equivalent of like calling over an exterminator and spending like $1,400 on services, and then 2 weeks later seeing a roach crawl across your living room floor. God damn it! God damn it!
Yeah. Now, Stephen Amell says I'm going to play more than one character in the crossover, and they're all named Oliver.
Nice.
And here was the big one, as if any of that wasn't big enough. And we don't know if he's playing his old character or not, but Burt Ward is coming back. Burt Ward.
Yeah.
From Batman 66.
Yeah. That's either a hell of a legacy casting, which doesn't make any sense in this context.
Or
maybe there's something they're just going to do.
I mean, why would you bring Burt Ward back if he wasn't playing Dick Grayson?
Yeah, if it wasn't literally the Crisis event.
Yeah.
I would think, fucking legacy casting. I guess that's how it goes.
Yeah, exactly.
But in this context, it would be really annoying to not.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no.
Of course, we could do like, Doctor Who 50th curator type of situation where it's ambiguous, but we all really know. We know who you are.
Yeah. It might be that.
I can see it.
It might be that.
And I won't say more because I know we have listeners who haven't made it to that 50th anniversary special, but
I could see it being a middle ground.
Yeah, it might be a middle ground. Don't get me wrong. I'm not looking at Burt Ward right now and going, you'll fit into that old Robin costume.
Yeah,
no,
that's a concern.
That's not
happening. You got to
explain
a little bit of like, no, this does not look like a guy who kept him.
However, if he was in a suit and had remembered some of the lessons that Bruce taught him and maybe, I don't know, flipped a Shakespeare bust open and revealed a hatch and they went into a bat cave somewhere, I wouldn't, my feelings wouldn't be hurt.
No.
Many a one-eyed vandal would be caned that night. I will say that. So we've got Lex Luthor coming back. We've got
good.
What was John Cryer? That's his name. He's coming back.
He was a surprise.
Now,
a pleasant surprise.
I haven't seen it. I have not. It's exciting, but I have not seen this part reported on any reputable news site.
Okay.
Only Cosmic Book News.
Okay. Which can't even spell comic right.
I know, right? They're saying that Tom Welling and Linda Carter are going to be in the crossover as Superman and Wonder Woman.
I heard some rumblings about that.
Mm-hmm.
And
if that happens, all the tea in China. Just have it. have my money. You won't need it because it's a free thing. But
we're already paying for some kind of service that allows us these. But if you sent me a bill afterwards for a certain amount of money, I don't know what up to. But if you sent me a certain amount of money afterwards, that is like an invoice. I'd be like, yeah, okay, I'll write that check.
Yeah, I mean, what would you do? What? We're looking at the Crisis. We know Barry Allen is supposed to die. We know that Kara is supposed to die. Supergirl is supposed to die in the Crisis. All right. Mm-hmm. We suspect that Oliver Queen is going to take their place. Mm-hmm. However, he already did that once. Mm-hmm. So the only way you could really make it worth it and make it seem like it had high stakes, they could kill off John Wesley Shipp Flash.
Sure.
They can make him the Flash that dies. Mm-hmm. And in place of a Supergirl, we could have any myriad Supermen. I don't think they would kill off Tom Welling's Superman. He's too beloved.
He is. Don't they still have a line of comics?
But no.
That ended?
I think that ended. But Brandon Routh's Superman, Grizzled Old Kingdom Come, Brandon Routh Superman?
Yeah, he can go.
Yeah. Right? I'll watch Tyler Hoechlin like carry his limp body out.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is speculation. We don't know.
No.
I'm just excited, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of pieces in this.
I'm actually...
A lot of pieces to play. Even without the last two that are speculation, it's still a lot of working parts.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised I am so excited about it right now because I put all this news together and I'm sick of all this shit. But now sitting here talking to you, I'm later. Like super excited about it again. All right, so over to Batwoman. Apparently in episode 3, we're going to have a pretty serious Batman villain show up thinking, I'm going to friggin' kill Batman because he thinks that person is Batman.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to have that. We're going to have Hush, but they're saying like they're going to introduce Tommy Elliott, who will eventually become the supervillain Hush, in an origin story that's going to develop over the course of the show's first season. This is the Arrowverse, so they can take whatever character and do whatever license they want, and they don't even have to call it the same thing because look at Vigilante. Mm-hmm. But I am a bit annoyed and a little confused how you do Tommy Elliott and Hush without Batman.
See, when I learned that Hush was going to be there and that there was going to be that somebody was going to come back and be like, I'm going to fucking kill Batman, I thought, oh, well, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It would make sense that he was like absentee and didn't realize there was a change.
So you think that he was absentee and he doesn't realize there's going to be a change. He goes like, oh, hey, there's Batman's back. And then we're going to slowly show Tommy Elliott's origin story over the course, and it'll turn out to be him.
But with the insistence that it was episode 3 where it was going to be somebody that comes back to kill him, I thought, well, you can't develop. And then they're saying it, Tommy Elliott and the origin of all that will develop over a whole season. It would have made a lot of sense if Hush came back in episode 3 looking for revenge and just was out of touch from it.
Right.
But I don't know who the hell they're going to bring back from I'm going to fucking kill Batman and show up and be like, nah, bitch. Somebody else on the throne right now.
Yeah.
I don't know who it is that is out of touch that comes back. I mean, you could go crazy with it, like a Grundy or something.
Right.
But I don't know. Pretty serious Batman villain. Could be a lot of things. Thing is, like, it can't be anybody that was in Arkham because in every version I've ever seen, Arkham has an internal network of news. Word gets around to that shit.
I mean, if they had him in like a solitary type of situation, maybe.
But that doesn't seem to do too well in God. Like it, I don't. I just have a sense over all the talking you've seen in different versions of Arkham that they have some way of knowing what's going on. I guess something as big as the Batman has vanished wouldn't make it past even a solitary confinement victim of Arkham.
I mean, it would. I think there's nothing here that says that they don't know that he's vanished.
Well, to me, if he's
just that they're like, oh, hey, he's back. Yay, I'm going to go kill him.
Well, okay. So maybe they just don't know.
I mean, it's like Joker. You know, Joker was in Arkham, and then he sees Batman comes back, and he goes, oh, darling.
Yeah.
He's the first time he's spoken in 15 years.
Yeah. So you're saying they just... I was thinking they just don't know that it's not Batman, or that Batman hadn't vanished. You're just saying that they don't know it's not Batman.
Right. They think it's still Batman.
There's a Cape Crusader out there, and... Okay.
That would be my take.
So, and that completely invalidates what I was saying. It's like, news travels fast, and then somebody other way around quickly realizes, oh, there's that. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes as much sense.
And you say the way you say it makes me feel bad now. Right? The way you say it, I didn't mean to completely invalidate what you were saying. I'm so sorry.
My interpretation's possible, but I like yours more.
Okay. Well, that's good.
It's not.
Don't feel bad.
Not definitive, but I like yours more.
It doesn't happen often that I have a good thought.
It's why we're here to record these moments.
Yeah, that's exactly. So the Batwoman EP says we are not going to repeat villains from the Arrowverse. We're using a whole new chapter of villains and heroes. That's fine.
That's good.
I can't think of one damn Arrowverse villain I want to see over in Batwoman.
I mean, unless you're going to bring over Huntress or something. And maybe as a villain. Just
maybe Geomancer.
Just being killed brutally in the streets.
Yeah.
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 Like, I want to see blood.
I want to see Geomancer.
Break your CW censorship rules.
Geomancer's over here, like, shaking the ground. And then just have Killer Croc come up behind him and just bite his head off.
Yeah. Yeah. I do want to see something brutal happen there. But that's, beside the point.
Mm-hmm. Now, over to Arrow. It looks like Christ is going to hit Arrow the hardest. And, let's see, who is this talking? I copied this over and I didn't even look at this. Oh, it was Guggenheim, I think. Let's see. Because of the nature of Crisis and the nature of the 10 episodes episode order for Arrow, the two projects really became linked to the extent where the build-up to Crisis really takes place in Arrow, and then Crisis has to impact the final 2 episodes of Arrow. We were wondering about how that was going to play out.
I mean, we suspected, because it's the only damn thing that would make sense.
Mm-hmm. It's all connected, and I think it's going to be connected in a way that's satisfying to people. That's the trick. That's the hardest part. We're taking the show...
Gets you, though. He tells you stuff that you already think makes sense, and then he throws something at you. It's going to be like...
We're taking the show on the road, really getting away from Star City. Oliver is going to be traveling the world, and we're going to go to a lot of different places. Every time I see Oliver in the monitor, it's like, okay, we are very far from where we started. But again, that means the show has grown and evolved. This is sort of his final test because it's greater than Star City, said Beth Schwartz.
The person actually in charge at this point.
But it was announced that Colin Donnell and Josh Segarra would both be returning for the final season. That's Tommy Merlin and Adrian Chase. Mm-hmm. So Adrian Chase is still, I think, my favorite Arrow villain. Maybe my favorite Arrowverse villain.
He was really good.
We don't know why they're returning. Yeah. And Amel says episode 1 is an ode to season 1, episode 2 is an ode to season 3. We're playing our greatest hits.
Oh, that sounds cool.
That might be interesting.
Yeah.
We've got Ben Lewis has been promoted to a series regular. That's the grown-up William Clayton.
Mm-hmm. So the flash forwards will continue.
Yeah. Did you watch the final season trailer? I didn't either. I haven't
gotten to see any trailers for...
I'm sure it's out there.
DC TV stuff that came out.
Oh, there was a few that were really good.
Well, except Watchmen, but...
Right.
That was literally as it came out.
Well, I'm going to have to ask you about something else. Because we might have to just watch it before we talk about it. That's good Lord.
All right.
Anyway. They've cast Charlie Barnett from Russian Doll as John Diggle Jr. And they've already said he's going to be... running around in Deathstroke gear.
Cool.
He's leader of a Deathstroke gang in the future.
Cool.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Ernie Hudson expects to reappear. He doesn't actually have any real word, but they did call him. And there's no deal in place, but they already called him, and they have a shortened season, so I'll probably do a couple of those. He says, I don't know if they're setting up for the next stage of Diggle's character or what. That's an interesting statement. And I don't. Did you happen to see any of the costume reveals? Like I'm not like Green Arrow's costume has always been tough for me because I've never been able to really like, except for when he lost the sleeves in season 4, I've never really noticed a difference.
Yeah.
And they did put up like a comparison of his season 1 outfit next to his season 8 outfit.
Oh, it's vastly different. I have seen those.
Have you? Because I looked at it and I wouldn't have known the difference if they hadn't put it.
Like, all the materials changed. He's got all kinds of accoutrements that weren't there before. He's got like
I saw it side by side and was like, oh, that's a little different.
Yeah.
But to me, it just doesn't look too different.
Season to season, it takes a minute.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to like. There's these reveals at cons where he'll come out and a couple of times he's come out in the new costume and I've looked at him and like, all these people are cheering, but I need a minute.
Yeah. Have you seen Diggle's new costume though? It is black with green accents.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Where's your ring, John?
Yeah.
Where's your ring?
Yeah. I'm really hoping we get to see that.
Dude, and David Ramsey even mentioned the Green Lantern mythos.
Really?
In a recent interview. Like,
awesome.
He didn't say anything but that like something is going to be broached about it.
We've already had 2 serious hints about it.
Yeah.
So far. I mean, saw Hal Jordan's jacket at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And then, where's your ring, John? But yeah, I mean, those are...
And not only that, Ernie Hudson's last name is Stewart.
Oh, that's right. Forgot about that.
His stepdad's name is Stewart.
Forgot about that. That is a big deal. Shit.
Mm-hmm.
This might be getting real. He would make a great fucking Green Lantern.
All those Ferris Air nods.
Yeah, there's a few Ferris Air nods. Okay, one question, though, in general. And it's going to be something I'm mad about. Where's my Ted cord?
I know, man.
You've cock teased me for 8 years
I know it.
Some portion of 8 years. I don't know when that Ted cord boxes first started rolling off the back of a truck, but
well, apparently they wanted to do Ted. Well, they wanted to do Ted cord.
They ended up with Ray. I understand, with Ray, but they kept the teases in there. They didn't stop teasing Cord Industries just because that showed up. He's on charts later. It's the one thing I think I'm going to be very mad about.
Well, just because Arrow's ending doesn't mean they can't do Ted Cord sometime down the line.
That's fine. The
He can
universe
show
is
up.
still alive.
Yeah.
I'm fine with him showing up. Legends would be a great spot for him to land for a minute.
Or Crisis.
Or Crisis. Yeah, exactly.
Look at that Crisis poster I have on my wall. There's a Ted Cord floating out there in space.
Oh, there's both Beatles floating out there on that one.
Oh, on that one.
There's a Reyes and a Ted Cord.
No, I was talking about the 80s one by Perez.
The actual 80 ones?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be there. And if you did anything post-Crisis, Ted Cord has a huge role in some of the later Crisis stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because he doesn't make it, but he's got a huge role.
Yeah.
That's
Poor guy.
it's important.
Damn Maxwell Lord.
I know. Well,
Anyway.
he definitely got his comeuppance.
Oh, yeah. Wonder Woman snapped his neck, buddy.
Snapped it.
Lassoed that neck right off. Right in front of everyone. Times Square, guy. Why do I remember that?
I don't know. I don't remember where it was. I thought it was in an office building.
Oh, it was in an office building, but it was also broadcast. Like Brother Eye was like, I think it was Brother Eye, but everyone was, it was.
The world saw it.
Yeah, but when it happened, like they showed, like I want to say there's a panel of Times Square, and it heard just like a crack. Like,
nice.
And everyone was just like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
Like, Wonder Woman. All right, so we've also got Susanna Thompson returning as Moira Queen. Now I can't say it.
It's always been a flaw in our show.
Yeah,
no one's ever.
Go back to the early days.
No one's ever gotten
listen
that right.
to me and Jason not be able to say her name.
Mm-hmm.
Moira Queen is coming back in season 8 for some reason. I'm hoping these are all like alternate
cameos out of
universes.
Some of these people.
Like some of these people, I want this to be like Ollie's on a mission with the Monitor. They're going to different universes. They're seeing what could have been. I want to see all.
Oh, you want gut wrenching?
I want gut wrenching, and I want multiverse.
All right, that's fine.
Also, Katie Cassidy Rogers is going to be directing an episode of the final season. A lot of these people are moving on over.
Good for them.
Over on the Flash, we've got this villain Bloodwork, which is going to be in the first quote unquote graphic novel. Is going to be Sindel Ramamurthy. He was the what was his name? I just had it in my head. He was on Heroes.
Yeah, he was on Heroes. He was like a good scientist for a while, and he turned himself into some sort of like fly creature. Cocooned himself.
That was so lame.
Yeah, I didn't mind that.
Suresh.
Suresh. It was Suresh.
Yeah.
Good job.
Mohinder.
Damn, nailed it.
I did. I'm proud of myself.
The most I remember about him is a shot of him cocooned in the corner.
Mm-hmm. Now, the Flash season 6 trailer was pretty dope, man.
See,
I mean, there's like a little, just really clips of, because they've been filming longer than anybody else, but there are some clips here and there, but mostly it's just like the back of his head, of Suresh's head. I'm gonna call him Suresh. He's called Bloodwork here, and he's just talking about disease, and mainly his whole bit is he's going to be trying to cure death.
Which is a terrible idea.
It's a terrible idea.
That's what's the show that came after Doctor Who?
Torchwood?
Yeah, Torchwood pointed out the awful dystopia that would take place.
Mm-hmm. And there was a fantastic, I don't know if you ever watched it, the 2002 Twilight Zone series that was on UPN back in the day. Their first episode, Jason Alexander plays Death, and he's sick of killing people, so he stops. And it is horrendous.
Nice. I get conceptually why this is a villain, because it would seem like, well, he's trying to stop Grandma from dying. No, I'm sorry. It's not. We all have to go. Mm-hmm. There's not a way around it. We all have to go or stop making others.
Yeah.
But there's no...
Yeah. I mean, basically that Twilight Zone episode, the way they set it up is like there's a doctor who's talking to Death, and he's like, oh, why don't you stop? I mean, it'd be great if you just stop doing it. He's like, all right. And then like there's a fire, and like a bunch of burn victims are brought in, and they're just not dying.
Yeah. This is the kind of argument where when you bring up just the simple idea of it, I quickly find myself thinking like, to help me in this argument, can I bring up my buddy Thanos to aid in the rebuttal?
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. So
now I'm imagining him like at a podium with a little tiny pair of seeing glasses, the little thin ones.
Oh yeah,
it makes me happy.
That's funny.
Stacking a sheet of papers, ready. All right. Little cue cards.
Is he doing his George W. Bush?
He clears his throat, by the way, before it.
That's gonna stay in my head now.
Yeah,
you bastard.
me too.
All right,
Carlos.
Carlos.
Thank you all for coming.
Yeah. Carlos Valdez says he's not leaving the show.
Really?
Yeah.
They talking back into it?
He says, I'm not leaving the show this season. I know everybody here is wondering. I know. I see that look on your face. I'm not leaving the show. I love these guys. These guys love me, clearly. I love being in the room with these guys. I'm not leaving anytime soon. I think he was going to leave.
I think he was.
Yeah. I think they gave him more money.
Maybe. I don't know what happened. I mean, I don't know his touring schedule. I know he likes to tour. Maybe it just didn't schedule right. And he's like, no, I've got time.
I don't know. I think he was negotiating.
I mean, what are they in Vancouver for? Like fucking 7 months? 6 months? 7 months?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
It's a minute.
It is a minute.
No, it's less than that because they've shortened it since the Smallville days. But it's still like a third of your year minimum that you're away from your family and everything else you could possibly want to do in life. I don't know. Things changed.
I don't know. The only thing I do is go to work and do this show with you. So
Yeah, that's about it.
I'll be on a CW show.
I change a diaper in between.
I'm about as good of an actor as Stephen Amell.
Yeah.
Not nearly as in shape.
They would have to CGI my entire body.
Yeah. But we saw how well that went over with Firestorm. Oh, wait.
Right.
All right. Daniel Panabaker is Fanabaker almost said is going to direct episode 6 of season 6. And
She directed one last season too, right?
She did. And they actually had a picture of her making a vision board with Flash comics. Mm-hmm. And one of them had Nora on it, and one of them had Captain Cold on the cover of the graphic novel that she was using.
Nice.
And I couldn't tell what she was actually reading, but all of those things sound great.
Captain Cold back from it.
I do. We're doing Crisis.
He needs to make an appearance. He was a big fan favorite.
I'm from Earth 35.
That's just how he talks. But it grew on us over time.
For some reason, that's the way he talks. He doesn't talk like that in season 1.
I don't know. It's like he slipped into his real self. But it grew on us all. I ended up really loving his delivery.
Yeah. Yeah, they've given a little bit of a rundown on who this Ramsey Rosso Bloodwork character is that Mohinder from Heroes is playing. Mm-hmm. A brilliant physician and former colleague of Caitlin Snow, Rosso's attempt at rekindling their relationship quickly goes wrong, taking him on a dark path to become the most chilling villain Team Flash has ever faced.
Well, okay. I'm not sold on it yet.
You're not sold.
I don't like unrequited love villains. They're not.
That's fair.
You have to sell me on them.
That's fair.
But I do like that there's 2 big bats.
Mm-hmm.
Because it would not make any sense for there be... I don't want there to be a big bad that survives something like Crisis.
Right.
I want the shows to have to kind of reboot a little bit and go into season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Or
I can see that.
Part 2 of whatever season they're on. And that part's a win for me.
Yeah. All right, so we've got Eric Wallace, who's the showrunner now on The Flash, and he actually wrote a pretty acclaimed set of stories with Mr. Terrific, and he was talking to Mark Guggenheim and asked, can I borrow Mr. Terrific and get him on The Flash for a while because I really love this guy. And he says he's not saying it's happening immediately, but he is going to try. But the reason Mr. Terrific left Arrow is because Curtis Holt wanted to leave.
Yeah, so they got to sell him.
Is it Curtis Holt? What's his name? Echo Kellum.
Echo Kellum, actual name. Yeah.
Echo Kellum wanted to leave.
It was Curtis, though.
Yeah.
So they got to sell Echo on this whole thing.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I think so.
All right.
All right.
I mean, if he's got a meaty story, like, one of the reasons Echo might not have enjoyed it as much is he only got a couple of really meaty stories. And not really that meaty. I mean, he was always supporting cast. Like, they didn't revolve any of the real plot going forward around him too much. Insofar as, like, when they did, it was all him and Felicity. Yeah, they got something meaty. It might work.
I think they might. Okay. So, they've released a Supergirl trailer for season 5. Mm-hmm. And a lot of it is just footage of last season.
There's like 4 seconds of new season.
Yeah. But it is... there is a new narration, new voiceover from Melissa Benoist from Kara, and then when we start seeing the new stuff, it's from Lena. Mm-hmm. I think Lena looks baller, dude. Mm-hmm. Like whatever she's got, this obsidian stuff that's
whatever
happening,
the tech is.
Yeah, whatever the tech is, looks awesome. Mm-hmm. I love her just punching Kara in her stupid face.
Mm-hmm. Calling her Kara.
Yeah, calling her Kara.
In the Supergirl
she's
outfit.
in the Supergirl outfit. Like, she punches Kara in her stupid face. Mm-hmm. Something I've been waiting for someone to do for like 5 years on this show now.
It's something I've been waiting. That story, like she was way too smart for that.
Yeah, she should have known for years.
Yeah,
years now.
Yeah.
Like, why are you so upset? Like,
it's going to be one of my problems with the show. Is like, how do you not blame yourself on this one a little bit?
Robert Rovner says the season will focus on technology and how it focuses in on our lives. The villains will hone in on how technology dives into the public and how they can twist it to hurt others. So they've made Andrea Brooks a series regular for season 5. That's Eve. Mm-hmm. They've announced 2 new cast members. Julie Gonzalo from Veronica Mars as Andrea Rojas, or Akrata, a polished businesswoman and heir to a Central American tech empire. She's now making a hostile advance into the world of media, and she's unapologetic and unafraid to make waves. She also holds a mystical secret, and they're also bringing in a UK-based actor, Staz Nair. And I don't know who that is. He played a Dothraki warrior on Game of Thrones. I never watched that. Mm-hmm. He'll be playing hardened reporter William Day, an original character. On the surface, he's a cynic and a sellout who looks down on Kara's idealism. He's not interested in making friends. He just wants to get the story, but his ties to the criminal underworld could prove problematic. Now, this is interesting. Megan Rath is going to be playing a female Brainiac 5. And that's Jesse Rath's sister. Jesse Rath is the one who plays Brainiac now.
Right.
They look very similar.
I didn't catch from the clip, but okay.
Well, I don't think she was in the clip, but...
There was a Brainy in the clip, a female Brainy.
Well, that was...
I think that was original, though.
That was from season 1. Yeah. That was Laura Vandervoort.
Oh, you're right, yeah.
Yeah.
Laura Forenames.
Mm-hmm. So we don't know anything about the female Brainy.
I don't know much about a female Brainy.
We know that Brainiac 5, they've talked about his family a fair amount in the books, and Jesse Rath has been pushing for his sister to be on the show as female Brainy for a while. Mm-hmm. So there's that. Mm-hmm. They are bringing back Jeremy Jordan's Win for 3 episodes in the back half of the season.
Thank God.
That's going to be post-Crisis. So who knows what that means?
Yeah.
He might be Toyman now.
He might be, yeah. We don't know.
And Makad Brooks, who plays James Olsen, is leaving the show.
I don't know why I thought that wasn't surprising when I heard it. I haven't heard any lead up that suggested it. I just, for some reason, when I heard it, I thought, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I guess I think because somewhat of his story's getting to the point where they've got to go ultra with it, which I feel like they've already done. Mm-hmm. It feels like they've gone to 10 and now they've dialed it back to 5 to do some real human stuff. And then after that, I don't know where to put you.
I don't either. But I'm okay. I'm okay with it. The door is open for him to show back up if he wants to. And the EPs are saying this season will be about how technology impacts us and how people use it to escape from what happens in their lives. They're saying it's their Black Mirror season. Have you watched any of Black Mirror?
No, but I know about it.
It's really good.
I hear.
It's really good, Jason.
Just one of the things that never has made the list of things I had time for.
I hear you.
It's on the list.
Of course it is.
Of things I'll
You're not mad.
Probably not have. Probably won't have time for. But
well, one of the great things about that show is, I've watched probably half of it, and I haven't gone back to it. Mm-hmm. But they're all individual stories, so
yeah, it's an anthology series. You just go back.
Yeah, you can just watch one and be like, well, that was delightful. And
I hear there are little things in the background that kind of tie it together.
Yeah, I hear that, but I haven't noticed it because I wouldn't notice it. I need a website that's telling me what's tied together.
I did find a website with all
Did you?
Yeah, and I was curious, awesome. So I looked at it, and there were some screenshots. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
It was a pretty thorough little thesis about how it's tied together.
When I finish the show,
you'll go back.
I will go back and look at that and go, oh, that's neat. But I'm just watching it. I'm not noticing that. I'm like, there's a politician having sex with a pig.
I remember screenshots that were literally just like a blurred thing in the background where the logo was still clearly a logo from a previous episode or something like that.
Yeah.
It's that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But a lot of people happily theorizing that I think there's room that there's a final season of Black Mirror where they have been doing this on purpose and there's a reason the anthology doesn't feel like a continuous story and all that stuff. I was like, yeah, it'd be great. It'd be a fucking masterstroke. I'll drop everything to watch that. That would be...
Yeah. I'm sure we'll find out about it before either of us actually finish the show.
Because
we have too many damn capes.
Right.
So Melissa Benoist is going to be directing an episode, the 17th episode of the season.
Is this her first?
Yep.
Is this her debut?
Mm-hmm.
Good for her.
Good for her.
I'm always happy when they get to direct. Get some experience.
Yeah, man. You know, Jonathan Frakes, I think, was the first time I've ever heard of anything like that happening.
I do remember hearing about it. I don't remember how early that was.
That was Next Generation.
Timeline.
Yeah, I mean, I remember hearing about like, oh, Jonathan Frakes is doing an episode this season because you know I keep up with all these people, and then later on I heard him talking about how like he was like, you know, I'm not sure how many years I have left in front of the camera.
It was a smart move.
Yeah, and then he starts shadowing people, and that's the same thing.
I think Michael C. Hall did the same thing with some Dexter episodes where he just like refused to be out of the room.
Yeah.
I may be completely making that up. If and if, it'll be right.
Yeah.
But if I remember the story right, he just would show up at production meetings, like places he didn't have to be at his time. He didn't have to be there. And he'd be sitting there over a notebook, like, "Can we do anything for you?" "No, I'm just here to learn."
Yeah.
Just that kind of thing.
Yeah. Which apparently there's a Warner Brothers director program, and because Katie Cassidy said she, in preparation of her doing an Arrow episode,
So they've got a quick little.
she started shadowing people, shadowing directors and stuff, and then also ran through did the Warner Brothers directing program.
I'm gonna call it Quickie Film School.
I don't know how quickie it is.
Well, yeah. I don't know how long she's been doing this.
Me either.
I know it's not enough that you don't have to spend, at least 4 months in Vancouver in the meantime.
Mm-hmm.
And then somehow run your life in the extra time. I mean, yeah, it's got to be condensed curriculum, we'll call it.
Yeah. So over on Legends of Tomorrow, apparently the season 5 premiere is going to be a mockumentary.
I love it, actually.
That sounds right for them.
That sounds right for them, yeah.
Let's see.
I'm already looking forward to several people's portrayal in a mockumentary.
Yeah.
With probably a shaky camera and everything.
The event of them like defeating Neuron from the last season apparently had the side effect of propelling them from D-list superheroes to famous and beloved heroes. And they're going to be doing a mockumentary over that.
That's awesome.
Yep, I'm excited about it.
That sounds fun.
Let's see, executive producer Grain Godfrey. We're getting a lot of executive producers I've never heard of before. I've never paid attention to. You always hear about Klimmer and all these people, but I've never heard of these people.
Yeah, well, there was a time where we stopped covering as much of the production talk.
That's true.
We only do it at certain times, like SDCC.
That's true.
The week-to-week stuff.
I do think Helbing was leaving Flash, and now we've got Wallace, so...
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember that part, and I remember Rovner, and then before that, I forgot her name, but I remember the... whoever it was moving into Supergirl. Like, as we brought up some of the names, I remember it.
Mm-hmm. But Godfrey says, if we become popular, are we going to lose our mojo? They're famous for the first time, and some of them are loving it. You have Sarah, the stalwart captain, who's the most suspicious of this and not into it. And then Klimmer says that they're talking about the idea of tempting the legends. We're interested in how fame affects people. I really like the idea of tempting the legends, that they're still susceptible, even though they sort of get over themselves after the first episode. I think you could always be tempted by the promise of getting it to be a singular franchise-driving superhero. See, I like the meta way that they're talking about it, which has been part of the really fun thing about Legends in the last few seasons is they've just been really meta and completely like, you know, joking about their low ratings and shit. Their Time Bureau ratings, quote unquote.
Yeah. Well, you know, they're pretty low in general, but we have a real loyal following.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like Astra's going to be the big bad.
We need that.
Yeah. Oh, Katie Lott, Sarah, she's going to get superpowers. She's going to get a magical illness which will turn her into a superpower. She'll learn how to make it a superhero power, which won't necessarily be a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
On that show in particular, it's not set in stone.
Do whatever.
People have to keep being just people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go crazy.
All right. Did you read anything about Young Justice Outsiders hiding a message in its episode titles?
No. I haven't gotten to
watch it. Not the new one.
Not the new ones.
But if you take the first letter of each episode title, it says "Prepare the Anti-Life Equation."
Oh fuck!
And it was renewed for a 4th season.
Wow! Good job, guys. Who figured that out?
Let's see. I may have written it down.
Oh yeah, Justin Carter.
Yeah, man.
Good job, man. He had to have just been going to watch the latest couple episodes and went, wait, whoa.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
It's like a jumble.
No way.
Yeah, it's like a jumble. You're just like looking through the list. You're like,
you can see them all
wait.
4 by...
Yeah.
Yeah, on a 4 by list. You can see, probably on any given screen, you can probably see 12 letters at a time. And if you're... Yeah. Good job.
All right, so was Harley Quinn one of those trailers you didn't get to watch?
No, I did get to watch that.
Okay, good. What do you think? DC Universe, Harley Quinn animated series.
Yeah, go. Looks
pretty great,
solid,
right?
Let's do this. Yeah.
Yeah, and like the one word we got from Alan Tudyk's Joker was just fantastic. I was like,
What was it again?
I think he said Harley.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not really sure.
Oh, I do remember at least hearing his voice, and it's going to be interesting to hear because like we've heard him on Doom Patrol doing this very mad version of a character, and he said at some point, I was literally doing them at the same time. I had to try to put myself in a certain spot. So I'm going to be really curious about.
He also says his Joker just sounds like him.
That sounds right too.
But I'm okay with that. Now, I don't know what he said. I don't remember. I think he said Harley, but I'm not sure because every time I've watched the trailer, which is about 6 or 7 times now, I have only been focusing on what his voice sounds like. I haven't focused on what he was saying.
Yeah, the quality of it was
or
good.
Cared.
Yeah, that part I remember from watching it and hearing, oh, this is what he's going to sound like, and thinking, okay, yeah, I can live with this.
Mm-hmm. I'm super excited to see Diedrich Bader come back as Batman.
I saw the rest of that cast, and you got it up right now, and it's absurd.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just obscene.
Dude from My Zombie, Raul Coley.
Love him.
Is Scarecrow.
Yeah. He'll be great.
Lake Bell from Wet Hot American Summer is Poison Ivy. I don't know Sanaa Lathan from the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, don't know that.
I don't know her.
Tony Hale, we know.
Tony Hale from Arrested Development and Veep, absolutely. Dr. Psycho, bring it.
Gonna be great.
Chris Maloney from Happy and Law and Order, absolutely. Let's do that. He's Commissioner Gordon.
Crazy part about Chris Maloney is he did Law and Order, and I liked him there.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like he was slumming it. Every other thing I've ever seen him in, and I've only seen the first episode of Happy, but I was deeply intrigued. It was one of those where man, as soon as I get a week somewhere, a gap, I can watch this in.
I'm pretty sure it was canceled.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I know it has 2 seasons.
It has, yeah.
Which is plenty. Man, Maloney is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's just like the thing a lot of people know him for is his most... He still did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
Especially SVU opened up a lot of territory, and it went into some... it was the more outrageous, I guess, of those shows. But yeah, he cracks me up, though. It's just like he did a really good job in this show that a lot of people saw that they wouldn't think twice about, like, seeking him out. And then every other place you find him, he's doing something insane and knocking it out of the park.
That's because he spent, like, 12 years on a show that was hugely popular so that he could make whatever the hell he wanted after that.
Well, didn't he do Oz before that, though?
I don't know.
I think he did Oz before that.
I don't know.
Which he was amazing at. I think that was before that. I don't know. It's been a long time.
All right. So, I mean, and we don't even know who these guys are playing, but Ron Funches from Powerless, JB Smoove from Curb Your Enthusiasm. Love both of those dudes. Jason Alexander from Seinfeld. Wanda Sykes. I mean, Giancarlo Esposito from Breaking Bad.
And
Jim Rash. Nellie Morales.
Revolution.
I mean, yeah. And they're all in it, and we don't know who they're playing.
I don't care. Bring them on. It's a great cast.
They're playing the friggin' Mary Tyler Moore theme in the trailer.
Oh, that was maybe my favorite part. Was the punk version of "You're Gonna Make It After All." That was fantastic.
Yeah, it was great and so bloody, so gory.
Yeah, we're not pulling any mallets. Heads will be smashed.
It just looks fantastic.
Bullets will have consequences.
Yeah,
This is not like bet you see an intestine before the end of this season.
I think we saw 3 in the trailer.
Just in the trailer. I don't remember, but yeah.
Yeah. So, they did announce Superman Man of Tomorrow is going to be an original story that they do, an original movie that's going to feature a young Clark Kent in his early career as Superman. That's going to be an animated movie. Then they're going to also be doing Superman Red Sun, which will be the first DC Universe movie of 2020. And that's, of course, the adaptation of...
one of the best Superman books out there.
Mark Millar's Superman Red Sun, which, our friend Christopher White just came into town the other day, and we went to Books A Million, and he got a copy of that because of our recommendation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He needs a copy of that.
Oh, yeah.
It's worth it.
Yeah. So it's worth
Those
it.
last few pages are heart-wrenching.
Yeah. And again, that is, what are you pointing at?
Justice League Dark Apocalypse War?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, did I jump that?
Looks like it.
I sure did. I jumped that. All right. Yeah, there's also Justice League Dark Apocalypse War, which is going to be a sequel to Justice League Dark. Yeah.
We've really got to get
We've got to get caught
more
up.
time for the animated movies.
We've got to. We've got to start skipping news.
Yeah.
Just start doing news every other week like we said we're going to do.
Yeah, maybe.
Bap.
At this point we are, and we're still only finding time to do this.
I know it.
There's so many things happening.
I know it, man. All right. Death and Return of Superman complete film collection gets a release date October 1st with the Blu-ray DVD combo pack and a 4K combo pack that includes a standard Blu-ray. And there will also be a limited collector's edition that comes with an exclusive steel figurine. And it'll also have Superman Doomsday, which is the first time, that's going to be the first DC Universe animated movie when they did pretty much the same storyline, but probably much worse. That's going to be that movie's first time in 4K. I don't care for that movie.
No, that one, no.
Yeah.
No. But that part of the story arc was not my favorite anyway.
Yeah. But, yeah, so I've been really clamoring to see this Death and Return of Superman, but I knew that they announced the Superman
it was one of those
complete
things
film collection a long time ago, so also I was like, I'm not going to go to the Fathom event and watch those damn movies.
It wasn't even that. This is the
Also,
kind of thing
we're really super behind on this universe.
we are super behind the universe, but I think you could watch this pretty safely. It's also just, I don't want physical copies of things anymore. I'm just at a point. I just want a digital copy on whatever thing I think is going to last the longest. So right now I'll buy it on Amazon thinking, well, you'll probably outlive anything else. And until you die, I've got a copy of this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just happy with the digital stuff. Now they've started releasing digital stuff with bonus features if you wait a couple more weeks. Mm-hmm. So that I will do that, but
yeah. And we're going to get Batman Beyond complete series set in Blu-ray.
Another thing you're going to be much more interested in.
Yes. And here's the thing, though. I'm confused because it does include a remastered copy of Batman Beyond Return of the Joker in the set, but they're not saying if it's going to be the initial Batman Beyond Return of the Joker
with the good stuff.
or the uncut edition, which is, to my mind, the only edition.
That would be a deal breaker.
That would be a deal breaker.
Yeah.
I mean,
You already have all of this.
Yeah, I already have all this. Yeah.
It wouldn't be worth it to have in that
I mean, technically, my sister-in-law has it in Japan
at the moment.
But yeah.
But it will still return to you one day. Yeah, I understand. I wouldn't do it either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be worth it to wait just to get the whole series on Blu-ray, even if they didn't have the uncut.
If it doesn't have the uncut, just keep your shackles and wait and see if they release it later.
Yeah.
With the real version.
It feels like one of those where they would probably release like the theatrical, quote unquote theatrical version on the complete set and then like the uncut version on Blu-ray later. But they've already released the theatrical, quote unquote, cut on Blu-ray. So I don't know what they're doing here.
No, yeah. With it being a complete series, both or the latter wouldn't surprise me. Mm-hmm. That's up to Warner Bros. Archives, I think at this point. So
Sons of bitches.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to wait that out.
Give me my uncut. Mm-hmm. Give me my putzes instead of yutzes. Mm-hmm. That's literally one of the changes they made.
I know. Yeah.
All right. So this is the first time I'm actually looking at numbers on this. Apparently, the Batman the Animated Series set, they're calling it an absolute phenomenon. It sold through its initial 30,000 copies and prompted an upgrade to 70,000 copies, which they'd also sold through before the holiday season ended.
Good God.
And now they're giving Batman Beyond a similar treatment for the 20th anniversary with 50,000 copy limited edition set. Which is fine. They can probably keep that set because I don't need the Terry McGinnis Funko Pop. But yeah. I would like it on Blu-ray at some point.
Yeah.
It's available for pre-order on Amazon apparently for $99. I looked at it today and it was like $87 now. You know, and those pre-orders, they always go down. And they will adjust. If you go ahead and pre-order, it'll just continue to adjust until its actual release date.
Nice.
Yeah. They don't charge you until they actually ships. Do. And we've got some special features, audio commentaries, all the stuff. It's all the stuff that's on the DVDs anyway. Now, there are going to be 11 episodes that have been up-resed. They've been smart-resed because they've been damaged and they don't actually have the ability to do true high def. So, keep in mind that if you're going to shell out the money for it, but it is going to look better than the standard def.
Yeah, a little better, but still.
I mean, what are you going to do? They were damaged.
It still just fascinates me that you can have original copies of stuff that's damaged. Mm-hmm. Like that people just lose things. Like there are whole episodes of Doctor Who that aired one day and have never been seen again.
I know it, man. I know it. It bothers
fascinates me that that's a thing that can happen.
And yet it's really intriguing to watch that
especially
process.
In modern day terms. It really fascinates me there. Like,
yeah. There's like one guy specifically that BBC hired, and his whole job is just to go around and like track down film reels. And he's found some, by God, over the years. He found one in like a broken down station in like Indonesia or some shit.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that happens.
Hey.
Oh, can I take a look at this? Yeah.
All right. Well, that's everything. That's the whole shebang.
That really feels like everything.
I can't believe we got through it.
No. I thought we'd tap out by now. But we made it.
Yeah, we did. Want to do a review of Justice League War next week? We just got through saying.
I mean, the funny part is I still think, man, I've still got stuff I gotta watch.
See, this is what you got. You guys are hearing it. This is what happens.
A movie to what I have to watch.
This is
even though I've already seen Justice League War. But it was
me too.
Probably 4 or 5 years ago when I watched that last. Yeah, probably around that long. But,
nah.
Yeah, I'll squeeze it into the weekend somewhere.
You don't have to. We'll figure something out. I apparently this.
We don't have anything on our calendar.
We don't
for next week. So, and this is going to be like we're in the day glow of SDCC. Like until it gets really close to boot time for some of these shows, we're not going to get a lot of news.
If I can get caught up, we can do Swamp Thing.
Well, we need to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one we need to do first.
We need Swamp Thing. We need to finish Young Justice. I don't know when it's ending.
It's coming up.
I'm sure. I haven't watched any of it.
Maybe this weekend. It's coming up. Yeah, I think maybe because Stargirl starts week after this next.
Ooh, girl.
Yeah. So I think we have Young Justice and Swamp Thing already on our plate.
Well, Jason's always got an answer.
I have nothing against any of those films. It's just there's always something.
There's always something. There's always something.
You know, when we started the show, first of all, there were only like 4 things that were being covered at the time. And one of them hadn't even aired yet.
Yeah.
And
that's right.
I mean, there was Flash, Arrow, Gotham, and Supergirl was in production when we started.
I mean, I think our first episode 1, I think we like talked about an Arrow episode, a Flash episode, and the Batman v Superman trailer, and that was our show.
Yeah, I think that was
that's all we had.
Yeah. And then the pilot for Supergirl leaked the week after, so we had that. But good Lord, it's been it's very different now. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've had to actually sit down and do it a couple times and count how many shows we ostensibly cover, and I lose track. I have to actually. It's like I can start and then I have to go back and look at everything and go by network and then go by streaming service and name everything. And then maybe still go do a little bit of research to really make sure I've got it all down.
And
there.
this just it's to the point now where it's like, we'll get to it. It'll be a few weeks after it airs, but we'll talk about it at some point.
Yeah. Also, when it started, there was such a thing as a fall and you'd call it a fall and spring or summer season, whatever. I don't even remember the term we used anymore. It's been years.
There was a winter break, and then there was a summer break.
Summer break.
Those are gone now.
No, there was a winter break where you had about 3 weeks to catch up on whatever it was you were doing.
In my day.
No, those are gone. Mm-hmm. Streaming has destroyed that idea, and also the CW has done its part. I say the CW, but we're in the middle of it's.
Yeah, this feels like the end of it.
This is July 31st. We're recording this, and Krypton is still dead in the middle of a season on Sci-Fi.
This maybe not the end, but this feels like the beginning of a final act of a Twilight Zone episode,
where there is no break in TV anymore.
Right, where we were like, streaming is amazing. We can watch anything we want at any time. We don't need to.
We're gonna take on the Gambler episode.
Yeah. Well, there's no appointment television, and now we're starting to see the effects. Like, there's no break. We always
TV
is anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are living in an episode of Black Mirror.
I mean, it is to a point where on TV Time when I look at like what I still haven't watched, and that's beyond, by the way. It has a list of what you should watch, and then after you haven't watched it for a period of time, it'll kick it down to recently watched, where there's just like this deep end of the swimming pool of shows that you have not gotten around to in so long that you'd probably have to have a recap.
Mm-hmm. And Better Call Saul for me.
I've got a ton down there. I mean, I could go down a list.
Oh, that was just the one that I always remember and go, oh.
Yeah. But it's gotten to that point where there's so many shows that are in the, oh my God, I haven't even time to touch you. And it's stuff I really love. Like it's like Arrested Development Part 2 of the last season.
Oh yeah, I'll
stuff
have that.
like that.
Yeah, I'll have
that's
that.
It bounced down now. Yeah. I haven't got to touch that.
Yeah, for me it's like Better Call Saul. It's it's Arrested Development.
Yeah.
It's freaking what else? I just had them in my head now. They're gone. It's such a fleeting flash of show. Oh, Broadchurch, Sherlock.
Oh, Broadchurch has been in there for 2 years.
Doctor Who.
Yeah, last season Doctor Who's still in there. I almost finished it. I think I'm only 2 episodes off, and it bothers me all the time because I'm like, I'm only 2 episodes away.
You realize this keeps happening to me, right?
What?
Because there was a new Star Trek show.
Mm-hmm.
Star Trek Discovery came out, and Matt and I was like, well, we were like, oh yeah, let's do this. And since we started that podcast, they have announced a Section 31 series. They have announced an animated show from Mike McMahon of Rick and Morty. A separate Lower Decks, yeah. A separate animated show on Nickelodeon. Mm-hmm. Star Trek Picard. Short Treks has become a thing, and now they're talking about some other like mystery thing. Why does this keep happening to me? Why do I start a podcast and then this happens?
I mean, I think we're interested in the material, and it's just what are we doing here? And then it's like, how am I supposed to cover this?
There hasn't been new Star Trek since 2005.
I know. And all of a sudden there's a crop. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't have an answer.
Put on my best shit-eating grin and do it. I am enjoying it.
Yeah. I still deeply enjoy the stuff we cover, but it gets harder and harder time-wise to get it all soaked in, and then, God forbid, on top of that, be able to actually look at what's coming up in the news and distill that, and,
Well, eventually, news is going to have to go away. And we're just going to be doing reviews.
Just reviewing
Just
everything.
catching up on things that which is fine, I don't care. If we have that much to review, I mean, sure.
Which it's bordering on. we're getting close to that.
And that's just season reviews, not episode by episode.
Yeah. I mean, we would have had to have quit our jobs to do episode reviews at this point.
Oh, yeah. And I'm still so excited about Sandman. Oh my God.
I mean, yeah. And
I'm so
stuff
excited.
in production that's probably for real in production that just hasn't made it to the...
Some of it's in development.
In development, probably really will see it. There's several things still in that stage, and we probably really will see it.
Yeah.
Like when they were, like last year when they were talking about Arrow ending, and or we thought Arrow might be ending because of some stuff that Stephen Amell was saying, and they were talking about, well, we haven't greenlit it, but we got Batwoman in production. But I was like, oh, that's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. We're not gonna get a reprieve there, and the Arrowverse is gonna continue and move forward, and great in a lot of ways, but time-wise, it was like, for a second we thought, okay, there will be more time to cover like Watchmen and Pennyworth and whatever now, and no, there wasn't. It just got replaced.
Which, the fun thing about Batwoman is, no matter how bad it is, and I've heard it's really bad.
Really?
I've heard other people say, yeah, it's alright, but, I mean, seems to be a general consensus that I've seen that says it's bad. I don't know, but no matter how bad it is, and how bad those ratings are, it'll be renewed.
Probably.
I don't know if it's like a producer's situation, like, like the producers, like, they make more money off of it if it's a flop.
I don't know. I mean, and to air something on the CW, like, there's a reason Legends is still around. They've got 1.4-ish, I think.
Yeah.
Last time I checked on their numbers. Which on any other network would be, they would cancel you mid-season. And on Legends, we're, investing in new storylines and hiring cast regulars.
Yeah. Dude, Legends is what broke me. And I'm glad it did, because I love Legends now, but those first 2 seasons where they just wouldn't cancel Legends, and I'm like, you have 3 viewers. No one is watching this show.
No, the fact is they're still making money on that show.
Like, you could hear me at least 3 or 4 times call that they are going to be canceling Legends of Tomorrow.
Only to be thwarted.
Only to be thwarted. Now, I do suspect they are going to be canceling it after this season.
Yeah, but we've said that for 4 years.
That's true.
We really have.
That's true.
And we've been wrong every time.
I don't think they'll cancel Batwoman for at least 2 more years. They're far too woke to do that. They'll just let it be a bad show for 2 or 3 years.
I really don't think it's about that. They've always had the numbers to justify having whatever they wanted to on the screen. And the fact is their audience is, I mean, I'm happy with all the woke messages. The audience is on board with it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's 999,000 viewers one week. They've got, a couple episodes later, they might get to 1.5. It's enough to sell their ads for
you know
cream.
me. Do the woke. Woke it up. Despite what so many Star Trek fans believe, Discovery is not the first woke Star Trek series. That started in Star Trek.
It started in
1966.
Original, yeah.
64 if you want to count the cage.
Yeah.
They were just a lot more subtle about shit than the... I heard it described really well on Fans Without Borders. They described it as the after-school special of it all.
Yeah. See,
there's very much I describe it as a bludgeoning over the head of...
Yeah. See if we can do that. And it frustrates me because I see them do it really well at times, and I see them do it overhandedly at times. And I wonder, like, why did you do this so well over here, and then over here I don't understand when one happens and when the other happens.
In a lot of ways, it is the difference between the early episodes of MASH that are actually pretty good or really good, and you'll have something like Hawkeye's good friend, who's a journalist and a writer, who's a little bit of an opportunist, and he goes to the front lines. He's writing a book called "You Never Hit the Bullet," because every time somebody gets shot, they always say, "I never heard the bullet." And then Triage comes in, and he's been mortally wounded, and as he's dying, he tells Hawkeye, "I heard the bullet." You get something like that, which is awesome.
It's a good line.
And then it's the difference between that and then like the later episodes where Alan Alda is like fishing for an award, and like directing the show and writing it.
I don't know the difference or where this would fall for you. There's one scene
just like
where
heavy-handed.
What is the scene where he's talking about like?
Even those are pretty damn good though. I love MASH.
Oh, that's good. What's the scene where he's talking about like there's a guy on the table he's operating and it was something about like he's talk about innocence and good guys and bad guys and innocence and in war, and he's talking to his people and he's like but there aren't really good guys, there aren't really bad guys. All I see on my table is a bunch of innocent people. Mm-hmm. I wish I could phrase that better. I wish I remembered the phrasing better, but it was a good moment. I'm not
remembering it, but that sounds Hawkeye-ish.
Yeah. They had great jokes about him on Futurama.
Really?
He had what was it? It was there was a little switch on the side of the Hawkeye bot. Where he's in their operating table and he's doing shtick. And then you look over and he switches it from humor to maudlin.
That's fantastic.
I forget what he says, but it's something about like, why does there have to be war or something?
Yeah. That's great. Yeah. Those were the two modes. Yeah. If you boil it down, it's like him doing like Groucho Marx and shit, and then him tearfully singing "I'll Be Home for Christmas" on Christmas Eve after the line got cut, trying to talk to his dad. God, that made me cry. Yeah, such a good show. Anyway,
what were we talking about?
I don't know.
Okay,
we're done. We're just rattling now.
Yeah, I'm sure we're the only ones here.
Maybe
at this point.
Maybe we have a few tried and true listeners. Hey, if you were here for this conversation, because you know what, I was thinking about doing Chasing Squirrels with this one. You know what, we're gonna leave it because I want you, if you listen to it, hit me up on Twitter, hit me up on dconscreen@gmail.com, Facebook, whatever. Let me know. Just you don't even have to explain yourself. Just say Hawkeye. Just say Hawkeye.
Just raise your hand, I guess. This is what the Patreon material sounds like after a while. It's one of the subsections.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Patreon.
Oh?
Yeah. The Batman Who Laughs.
So much better when I can see you.
Yes, then you can have to interrupt me more thoroughly.
Uh-huh.
The Batman Who Laughs 7 of 7 is coming out Wednesday.
Uh-huh.
No, tonight. It came out tonight.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have time. We had to come over here. So that means I'll be picking it up tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
And reading it as quickly as my tiny eyes can beat over something.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure going to be on the next pull list.
Oh,
for
cool.
sure.
Good. Just keep that Patreon content coming, man.
Snyder fucking getting his own miniseries with the Batman Who Laughs. And yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, you'll be working on that. I'll be producing this tomorrow night. So,
yeah.
Yay!
Fun stuff. And then we're going to go back to our shackles. I mean, watching everything.
You mean Krypton?
No, it's been really fun for the last few
Has
episodes.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a little slow at first.
It was the problem with the first season that we had was like we liked everything that happened. We just wish it had happened a little faster.
Yeah.
And it was beautifully shot as it is this season.
Mm-hmm.
Character development's great.
Mm-hmm.
Story's really, really good. Bringing in some heavy hitters. Moving a little faster than it did last season.
Really got to like keep a chair in the living room and not sit on my couch.
That's key. I watch everything in my office, and I have a nice office chair, but it is not a sleeping office chair.
See, I sit in the chair that you're sitting in. I just move that chair in here when you come over to record.
Right.
Or Bethany comes back to record or something. So I just, and then for a while, I just left it in here and was sitting on the couch, and I just fall asleep on the couch.
I understand.
No matter what.
I understand.
No matter what. It's ridiculous. We just got a new king bed. And you know that the mattress that in no way sponsors this show, but sponsors Conan O'Brien's show, the Zionist mattress. We bought one, and it is fantastic. It's a pillow top. It's
Cooling gel.
It doesn't have the cooling gel. The cooling gel. Yeah. It doesn't have that. But we just thought that would be weird. But oh my gosh, man! Like I put a little clamp light on my headboard so I can read. Psh, ain't no reading getting done, man. I fall asleep. I've turned on the light, opened a book, and that's the last thing I remember.
Howdy.
It's just too damn comfortable. So, Zionists, if you want to sponsor us and get heard by 300 people.
Yeah.
200 of which are not our mothers.
Mathematically, at least.
I'm just kidding. My mom doesn't listen. We're out. We're gone. Until next time, keep some DC on your screen.
God, we've got to work in the morning.
Yep. Our intro music is by Jason Goss and Michael Shackelford. Michael's band, Galactic Engineers of Magnetic Sounds, or GEMS, can be found on SoundCloud and Bandcamp. Visit DCOnScreen.com to find our Patreon, merch, contact information, and every episode of the show for free, including crossovers we've done with other podcasts. DC On Screen is a maladjusted production. For more from me and Jason, including sketch comedy, vlogs, parodies, and our improvised web series Hey Guy, visit maladjusted.tv.
Are you maladjusted?
I have to be anyway.
We all love the low country lifestyle, which is why we should do our best to protect it. To get insurance that helps you protect your home from whatever the low country throws at you, contact CT Lowndes & Company today. Their local agents can review your coverage to help make sure you're properly protected. CT Lowndes & Company has been helping protect and insuring the low country since 1850. Visit ctlowndes.com to learn more and request a quote. That's CTLOWNDES.com.
And now, an Etsy holiday gifting mission. Today's episode, Operation Handcrafted and Affordable. Here's the situation. It's the holidays, which means you're on a mission to find handcrafted, affordable gifts. You want items that will brighten the spirits of everyone on your list, but won't blow your budget. Sure, it sounds impossible, but there's no need to make shopping for gifts feel like it has the suspense and high stakes of a heart-pumping action franchise. It's time to simplify your gifting experience with Etsy. Whether you're searching for handmade home pieces like serveware, cutting boards, and throw pillows for your favorite holiday hosts, or personalized items like necklaces, handbags, and seasonal jackets for your most stylish friends and family, Etsy has it. Get handmade items for all budgets and any gifting mission. New to Etsy? Use the code HOLIDAY10 for 10% off your first purchase. That's code HOLIDAY10. Maximum discount value of $50. Expires December 31st, 2023. See terms at etsy.com/terms. Shop Etsy.com. Etsy has it.